Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Shade Radhika Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Siddha Shadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Prahladananda Prabhu
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu Patitaran Jagannath Prabhu Dandavat. I hope you are feeling better.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Slightly better now.
That's good.
But I've been reflecting this one thing that you told the day when we first started. If you're sick and you're hungry, can you believe you're not this body? So that was keep playing in my mind. Oh, I'm very sick. No, I'm this body, not. So that was a reflection I've been reflecting for the past few days.
So did it work or it did not work?
Well, when I'm sick, of course, it's someone other, it's in pain.
Vidur Das Prabhuji is there. Dandavat Pranam Vidur.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vidura.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let us begin, Prabhu.
Okay. So I start, Prabhuji, with your permission.
Should we display the song so other can sing, or
If you can, if you display, if you...
Okay. Let's try.
Okay.
Go ahead, Prabhu. You can begin.
Okay, so this song is a song by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It is from the Surrender. So, Saranagati. And the title is Manasa Deha Geha. Manasa Deho Geo Joki Chamora Apilo Tuva Pade Nanda Kishore Manasa Deho Geho Joki Chamoa Apilo Tuva Pade Nanda Kishore Sampade Vipade Jivane Marane Gai Mama Gela Tuva Opada Barane Maro Birakobi Jo Icha Tohara Nitya Dasa Prati Tuha Aki Rara Janmanobi Moi Chajati Tor Bhakta Grihe Jani Janma Hoy Mor Kita Janma Hoy Jatatu Adas Bahir Mukta Brahma Janme Nahi Asta Mukti Mukti Shri Paha Vihina Je Bhakta labaite tako sangha anuraka. Janaka janani daitatana Prabhu Guru Pratituhu Sarvamo Bhakati Vinoda Kohe Sunokana Radhanata Tuhu Amara Parana Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna. So the
Wonderful.
translation, mind, body and family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O useful son of Nanda. In good fortune or bad, in life or death, all my difficulties have disappeared by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter. Slay me or protect me as you may, as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant. If it is your will that I be born again, then may it be in the home of your devotee. Let me be born again even as a worm, as long as may remain your devotee. I have no desire to be born as a Brahmana adverse to you. I yearn for the company of that devotee who is completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment or liberation. Father, mother, lover, son, lord, scepter, and husband, you are everything to me. Thakur Bhakti Vinod says, O Kana, please hear me. O Lord of Radha, you are my life and soul. Shri Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you, Vidura Prabhu. That was very
Hare Krishna.
enchanting. Who is expressing gratitude this morning? Is that Mother Prabina Devi Dasi? Let's see.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Are you
So
expressing
yes, I'm
gratitude?
presenting.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. So Magyananandasya Gyananjanashrakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. Hare Krishna Bhutale Shri Guru Swami Ramani Namaste Saraswati Vadi Paschatdesh. Jai Srila Prabhupada. So I just want to thank Srila Prabhupada for sending out Bhagavad Gita out of India the way it has. Had Srila Prabhupada not come to the United States and brought the message of Bhagavad Gita, it would not have become almost a household word throughout the world. The Prime Minister of India right now also talked about just recently contributions of Srila Prabhupada and the ISKCON movement in India and throughout the world. How the people of the Western world are getting influenced by Krishna consciousness and living such a dharmic life. Had that not had happened, we would not have known the message that comes directly from Golok Vrindavan down to us. So grateful for Srila Prabhupada to come here, spread the message, bring the essence of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam with him. That way we all can benefit today and give it to the next generation coming. So my biggest endeavor in life is to pass on this information, pass on this beautiful message of our Shastras to my kids. And I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present on the call. May you bless me in this endeavor, and so I can make my Guru happy, and so I can also always be connected to Srila Prabhupada's movement. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mother Pravina Devidasi. Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Mothers. Welcome to this session of Bhakti Rasa Amrita Sindhu. So today we are beginning with chapter 26. We are covering 3 chapters, 26, 27, 28. Under the guidance of Patitaran Jagannath Prabhu. I hope the 3 presenters are here. I do not see Mother Sri Shakunisha. Okay, let us do the Mangalacharan and then we will see. Hopefully they will be here. Om Ajnanati Minandasya Genanjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namo Sri Chaitanya Vistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitanscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha kalpa taruvesha kripa sindhubhaya cha patitanam pavanebho vaishnavebho namo namo. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Patitaran Jagannath Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I do not see Mother
Oh,
Sri Shopanishad. Do you have her contact? You can. She's
Oh,
starting
okay.
the chapter first, right? Am I right?
Yeah, she's 26.
I do
And
not
followed by
see her
27 by
name.
Mother Sujata.
Maybe you can try to contact
Oh,
her. Or
okay,
so, okay. So, Prabhus and Mothers, today I'm going to give a little brief symptoms of awakening bhava. The subject matter that we are discussing, it is after awakening bhava. How do you know that you are not fully awakened bhava? Or maybe you are once in a while getting little touch of it, or maybe you have no clue what those symptoms are. I hope you do. Because this is our immediate purpose, to awaken bhava. We are getting familiar with this Krishna consciousness philosophy. More we are educated, more we will be committed. Education is not just verbalization, that is saying, I know this or that, but education is transformation. Real education is not the education of words, but education of emotions. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad very nicely composed this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and Srila Prabhupada very nicely also translated it with the appropriate name of each category in English. Even sometimes I get confused because when you hear spontaneous versus ecstasy, he says spontaneous feeling or ecstasy feeling. It's like, which one is higher? In Sanskrit, bhava is the primary cause and prema is the end result. But when you focus on English, ecstasy sounds like any stages you will have ecstasy. But when Prabhupada writes ecstasy emotion, in a sense, it's bhava bhakti. So just get familiar with those words. And he meant, when Prabhupada writes spontaneous, he meant prema bhakti. They are not saying, just like you pass the junior, then you go to senior school. You don't go to senior school and then, oh, I didn't finish the junior, I should go back and Not like that. It doesn't work that way. So in spiritual science also, it does not go like that. It goes step by step by step, you go. What emotions are real and what emotions are illusory? When someone died, it is not that emotions are false. The person actually feels grief struck. I'm sure all of us have some experience. Somebody died or somebody sick or got something that made us feel depressed. Now, when someone died, it is not that emotions are false. The person actually feels grief struck. They are false in the sense they are based on platform of body. When emotions are uneducated, it indicates that knowledge is not internalized, but only verbalized. Which means much spiritual progress is not done. I'm not trying to attack anyone, but that's the reality. In Nectar Devotion, what I understand, I'm just expressing to you. So Krishna is saying, you have not internalized to Arjuna. If you look at it, Gatasun Agatasuncha. Don't put that logic, well, Arjuna is an eternal friend, no, of Krishna. Don't put that logic in that understanding. When Krishna says, Gatasun Agatasuncha, just take it as it is. Because Krishna is trying to establish a point. When soul departs from the body, along with the soul, subtle body goes. Along with the subtle body, life here also goes. What is life here? Asun. That's why Krishna used that word. Refers to when life here goes away, modern scientists will say, well, oxygen is required for survival. But it is not just oxygen alone, but whole framework of air, which is networking, coordinating, I would say, for the functioning of body. So all of them together, there's a word called prana vayu, whose circulation enable us to live and enable us to function in the body right now. Subtle body is linked between soul and the gross body. Link between subtle body and the gross body is where the life air is called prana. There are multiple links. Life air is one of them. When we are angry, I hope, is it making sense? Are you, I hope some of you are grasping it. When you are angry, you are stressed out. What do? You breathe. Your breath becomes fast. When you breathe slowly, you feel calm down, very peaceful. You don't see somebody breathing so fast and is very peaceful. No. Thakur Prabhu, am I speaking foreign language or you can relate to this?
I can, Prabhu.
Thank you.
It's okay.
No, I just want to make sure. So, because we are talking about emotion, the bhav, but we have to be familiar about our own experience. Then you can detect. This nectar of devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, is not outside you. It is about you, within you. The emotional experience in relation to Krishna. But first we have to be aware how our body actually operates. When we angry, When we are disturbed, we breathe fast. And when we are peaceful, we breathe normal, calm, peaceful. What does that mean? That shows that there is a connection between our breathing and our emotions. It is bi-direction. When emotions are agitated, Prabhus and mothers, breath becomes agitated. Vice versa. So when soul leaves the body, subtle body and life air both leaves the body. And we can recollect Krishna. If you think of Putana's story, I'm sure you all are familiar, details of Putana's story. What did Krishna do? Krishna sucks. What did he sucks? Not only the breast of Putana demon, but he also sucked her life air. I hope you heard that very clearly in Krishna book. When life air comes out, she died. So life air allows the soul and subtle body to stay in a gross body. You ever heard ghost body? That is called ghost body. So we say when life air has gone out, the person has died. So one symptom is breathing has stopped. So when you're familiar with it, then you can think about it more deeply. Because today we are also, I think we are touching also Sattvik Bhava. We are finishing today Vibhava, and we are going to go to Anubhava and then Sattvik Bhava. I want everybody to hammer in your consciousness this concept. What is spiritual happiness or spiritual emotion experience is? You, the Sthai Bhav. Then you have a 4 ingredients combined together, make the spiritual ecstasy or spiritual experience. So you have a Vibhava, you have a Anubhava. Just be aware of those Sanskrit terminology. Then we can discuss in English. Sattvik Bhav, then Bevichari Bhav. These 4 ingredients and you together produce spiritual experience or rasa or taste. Now, before we go that route, I want to give a little details explanation, not details, maybe in between, briefer details. What is beginning symptom of those awakening stage? So first of all, right now, you have this physical body, then you have a vital body, then you have a mental body. These are like, you can say, sheets covering the soul. Right now you have all this layer of covering. When you awaken Bhava, your mental body, vital body connects physical to the subtle. Mental body connects vital to the intelligent. Intelligent body connects between soul and mind. Are everybody familiar? You have a Bhagavad Gita in front of you. You look at it, 3.42. Just one sloka before the last verse on third chapter. Krishna gives the material hierarchy. Prabhus and mothers, you are buried. I don't know, it may sound horrible, but that's how we are. We are buried by those layers. The soul is buried by those layers. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to understand this philosophically, and then we will try to apply this in Krishna consciousness, so we will be able to see, identify philosophically first, then practically, and then you will go to spontaneously. One devotee asked me very interestingly, he says, in my village, so many simple villager comes and they do puja and they sing, dance. Is it possible they can awaken Bhav and Prem without consciously aware of it? Purushottam Prabhu, can you pull out from Bhagavatam or Vedabase 10.24.6 and tell me what did Krishna wants us to do about spiritual education? If you look at that, then you can see. Now, yes, it is an obvious question that anybody can perform a devotional service, anybody can do. But when we talk about awakening pure prema, we need to awaken bhava. And without being aware, you're not going to jump to prema just like that. Whether you are aware or not aware, it will happen automatically. No, it is not going to happen automatically. So this is very, okay. I think Purushottam Prabhu put it on the chat. Gyatta gyatta cha karmani janayam anutishtati. Vidusha karma siddhishet avidusha bhavet. Krishna says, those who are aware, they will get success. Those who don't know, Krishna will let you know through devotee, this life or next life, you will be educated in this field, and then you will know. When we awaken, or we are awakening our bhava, there are symptoms you can detect right at this moment. And if it is not awakening, then it is not there. Something is blocking. When you say you taking shelter of Guru in spiritual path, what's supposed to happen? What will be the difference if you don't have a spiritual shelter and you're just practicing on your own? What will happen? What will be the difference? Is there a difference? If someone is practicing Krishna consciousness without Guru, Let me do my way. I don't need advanced devotee shelter. What will be the difference?
They will under ignorance path.
I'm not convinced. You have a, I appreciate your trying the answer, but I'm not convinced. Let's see. Mother
Without knowing
Kamala
the
Devi
entity.
Dasi.
Hare
Mother
Krishna,
Krishna Manju, you can raise your hand. Will be nice always.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, my understanding is that it's the difference between practicing on your own and with and under the guidance of a guru is like reading a manual and trying to do it on your own, while under the guidance of a guru, you can be guided as he himself has experienced to self-realize. He can give us a better understanding because he has experienced it. So experience teaches more. That's my perspective.
Nice. Good example about manual because I had my own experience in my life. I was trying to put together a wooden furniture and I could not finish it, and then I had to go back, and it was worse because I had to unscrew all these parts and then restart again from the according to the manual. So I can relate what you are saying. Yes, that's good. But that is true, what you gave an example. But practically, what is actually happening? Yes, Mother Sankari Devi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my Dandavat Pranams. As 434 says, when we take the shelter of a guru and we do service and ask pertinent questions, then the transfer of knowledge happens from guru. And as Kamala Mataji said, because the guru is already on the self-realized, he's on the path of self-realization, following other acharyas, following his guru, and his guru, he's already connected to the parampara system. He guides us through that path and tells us what to do, what not to do, and corrects us if we make mistake. If we do it on our own, firstly, we wouldn't even know what to do. And if we are committing mistakes, then there would be nobody to guide us. So like if I were to write a thesis, I need to do it under somebody so that I know that I'm going on the right path. That's my understanding, Prabhu.
That's good. That's also very good. What you said is correct. What Mother Kamala Devi gave an example of following the manual is also correct. Balaram Prabhu.
Spiritual knowledge is revealed knowledge. With our senses, we have no access to this knowledge. So without the guru, who will reveal this knowledge to me? It will only be mental speculation.
Wow, very nice. Balaram Prabhu, after a long time, hearing your voice. Nice. Thank you for joining. Yes, revealed knowledge. Everybody understand the word revealed knowledge. Revealed knowledge is not opening the book and reading. Revealing knowledge means acquiring knowledge, then applying that knowledge, then it will be revealed. After, third stage, final. Very nice. Very well said it, Prabhu. Let's see. Mother C. Upanishad.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Jai, I have some earphones in. First time. I didn't hear the question, but I hear the answer, so I'm thinking I know what you're talking about. So could you repeat the question again, please?
Is there a difference to practice Krishna consciousness on my own without shelter of Guru? Is there any difference? I'm doing the same thing. After I took initiation, I'm chanting 60 noun, following for a, without taking initiation, formal initiation. What will be the difference if I don't have a shelter and if I have a shelter?
Ah, wow. I was just reading that yesterday about the spiritual master in the Bhagavad Gita, chapters 7 through 12. And it says that in the Bhagavad Gita 10.3, If we want all of our activities to be auspicious, then we should work under the directions of the Supreme Lord. And such directions are given in authoritative scriptures such as the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master. Because the spiritual master is the representative of the Supreme Lord. His direction is directly the direction of the Supreme Lord. The spiritual master, saintly persons and scriptures direct in the same way.
That's also true. What you said is correct also. Everybody is correct so far, but there is a particular things I'm looking for. And Prabhupada said in one lecture, I'm sure some of you heard that. Prabhupada said, we say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveling in South India and on the way to Jharkhand forest, you know all those stories. He delivered the elephant, rhinoceros, a tiger, lion, they all dancing. What does that means, delivered? Prabhupada asked that question. Then he writes, and then it's in Bhagavatam purport, he says, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, our Guru Maharaj, now traveling all over the world and delivering people through his disciple. I don't know when Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur was doing it. Actually, Prabhupada was talking about himself, but he didn't want to mention his name out of humility. So Prabhupada put it such a way. And I was reading that, I was like, how Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur was delivering? It was through Prabhupada. But he was humble, so he didn't want to mention his name. So then Prabhupada asked the question, what does that means, delivering? My Guru Maharaj has delivered me. What does that mean? Yes, Purushottam Prasad Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Vijay Dandatna. See, it is, Prabhupada also gave this example, like if you post the letter into the authorized post box, it will reach the destination properly. Whereas the post box that is hanging outside of your home, if you put it, it goes nowhere. Similarly, when that is happened with the Diksha, you're not only just connected with the Guru connected to the Parampara and reach up to Krishna. So that is the authentic way, bona fide way to receive the mercy as well as do the service as well, both Arohana and Avarohana. So upwards and downwards, both it happens. So that's how the reciprocation between the Lord and the devotee takes place. So that in that way, connecting to a Guru who is authentic, bona fide, in a bona fide sampradaya is very important.
Very nice. This is also true. But I'm still looking at particular connection. This is true. Everybody said it's all correct. Please do not misunderstand. You all are correct. Let's see Patitaran Jagannath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept our oasis. Okay, like we see in 434, Krishna is saying that, try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him, because the self-realized soul can impart the knowledge. So impart the knowledge, that means this knowledge is something is not we can acquire by our own effort. So it has to be imparted, even though like despite whatever effort that we can read Prabhupada's book and practice bhakti, but it is still on a superficial level, on a theoretical level. But when we have a guru, that's when we will know, we'll understand the cream. So we get the knowledge is imparted. That means that we receive the knowledge as it is. So that's my opinion, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
No, there's you almost 99 plus, but I'm looking for 100 marked. You almost. Mother Pravina Devi.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So my thought on this is not very different, very far off from all of my other dear devotee friends. And what I think is that through Guru, we get the, I'm naturally Hindi is actually coming to my mind because I can express myself. I feel a little bit better in Hindi, but anyhow, I'll try to do my best. that Guru gives us the seed of bhakti in our heart, sows the seed of bhakti in our heart through the Harinam, gives us the Harinam and gives us that seed. And now it is as disciples, our duty is to now provide the seed with the right soil, with the right watering, with the right taken care, so this seedling can sprout in our heart and can take a shape of a beautiful vine and can progress and prosper.
That's also correct. These are all correct. Now I would like somebody to, if you have Chaitanya Charitamrita in front of you, you can go to 6.160, or actually other one will be better. Madhulila 7.99. This is very specific. Katakkan rahi prabhu tare alingiya viday karila tare sakti sancharila. A particular potency transmits from the heart of a senior devotee or guru to the junior or disciple who just submitting himself or herself to that senior guru. What is that potency transmit? This is what transform into bhava. What is that potency transform? Anybody has 7.99 Madhulila? You look at it. It's called Sambit potency, cognitional potency, and Ladini potency, pleasure potency. When we say pure guru, means they are connected to those potencies. Very specific. Prabhupada repeat this. Few other purports on this. That's why in Bhagavatam when he says that Mahaprabhu is delivering, a guru is also delivering. What does that means? Means a particular potencies transmit from the heart of a person who has it to the person who needs it. These two potencies together with initiation event where Sandhini connection transform into Bhava. So what is Bhava? Bhava is nothing but this pleasure potency, cognition potency combined together will ignite what you have in your heart, like outside fire to inside fire. It's not going to just by a physical proximity. It is require a serious sadhana practice for actually that personality to bestow that from his or her own heart to your heart. Why can't they just give it? You could say like this. Can just Prabhupada give that pure prem right there in the heart of another conditioned soul? No. That conditioned soul has to be molded to receive and act on it. That's why it takes, well, it depends on the intensity and purity each individual. So this is very important, very specific, very specific. Mother Pravina Devi, you have raised hand. You have something more? And Mother Krishna?
No, Prabhu.
Okay.
No,
Mother
Prabhu.
Krishna Manju, you have raised hand.
Charitamrita 799.
Yes.
That, so you want me to read or you wanna read?
No, you can read it on your own time. I'm just giving you reference where it is coming from.
Okay.
So you have, when we talk about initiation, when we talk about awakening love for God, it's inner connected. It is not possible without shelter of a person. Guru means who has this bhava. Without connecting to a person who has it, it is not possible on self-endeavor to awakening automatically. Therefore, it is required. The submission, service, and humility. Those are required to receive that. Submission means what? Submission means what? The flow has to be there. From higher to lower, guru to disciple, submission causes. When disciple is submitting, or it's like a flow, like a water comes from higher to lower. But if it is plain, the water will not flow. So when we feel the need of this potency, we remain humble at the feet. Then from Guru's heart, it will start entering in our heart. How? By our practice. It will draw attention and it will make that connection. Pranipad, pariprasna. Pariprasna means internalize. My Guru is taking me. Am I going also with him? If somebody is taking you, just like Prabhupada asked that question in a morning walk in Mauritius after Vidura Prabhu is here. Yes, in Mauritius, this class took place. Chavana Rishi, a Prabhupada's disciple, he was a sannyasi. He just passed away maybe 3 years back. I used to go with him for sometime college program. Chavana Rishi Prabhu, Maharaj at that time, but then he stepped down. He was in Mauritius, his American body, Western body. He mentioned this story to me 2-3 times, that how Prabhupada made it very clear that why you need Guru. So from there, I learned also very interesting. So Prabhupada asked the question, Guru has come to take you back home, back to Godhead. So that's the duty of Guru. What is the duty of disciple? So disciple, some says chanting 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principle. Prabhupada says something more. I'm sure you heard this. I mentioned this many times. Because Prabhupada gave a very specific. Guru has come down to take you. That's his duty. What is the first duty of disciple? Also ready to go back. You may be chanting 16 rounds, following regulative principle, but you have to become tadatma. The word is called tadatma. Tadatma means Guru has come to take me, I'm ready to go. Then you become one with Guru. You are very close proximity with Guru. You know the heart of Guru. What's the heart of Guru? Guru has come to take me, I'm ready. This internalize. So Pranipad, that's good. But Pariprasna is also as important. That's why Krishna gave all these 3. Seboya also. Pariprasna means internalize. He has come to take me. That's his duty. I'm ready to go also with him. Am I going with him? It's not a physical connection. It is a spiritual connection. So that is very, very much important. And third is Seboya. Seboya means it is confirming that actually your connection is steady and linked. All 3 things, Pranipad, Pariprasna, Seboya. Mahatma Prabhu, you want to share something?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. The original question was that person who is taken initiation and chanting, and then person who is not taken any spiritual life, but he started doing the kirtan and all that, right? That's the question. Correct, Prabhuji? Am I not wrong?
Yes, you are almost, it's right, that without initiation, if I practice, versus with shelter, if I practice, what is the difference?
So that's I was thinking that if the person who is without connecting anything, but I think this is the time the Lord is giving a guide to, like a Chaitya Guru, to go, then to try to find the Guru, then after that, that guru is the one who is going to connect, like a electric in the home, a connection, right? That the guru is the one. Guru is going to give that connection. But I think the one which is without guru starting, this is the time the person is giving from Chaitya Guru is starting that, oh, you try to find a guru now to come to me. That's how my understanding. That way, different is there, but the different is not that much. That's the different, that is not perfect yet if not guru is not accepted. That's how my understanding.
Chaitya Guru, you look at those verses also. Jibe Shakshat Nahi Tate Guru Chaitya Rupe. Shiksha Guru Han Krishna. So these verses are there also. Jive Shakshat Nahi Tate Guru Chaitya Rupe. Yes, there it is mentioned that Chaitya Guru guides, but to a point where you come and submit to a person. It is not that Guru in the heart is enough. No, the verse doesn't say that.
Yeah, so it is not enough. So that's the time point. The guru has to be approached. That Chaitya Guru is giving that you try to approach, right, Prabhuji? My understanding with what I heard about the Mirabai was doing all this service. Lot of everybody know about Mirabai. But ultimately, that I think Goswami told him that you cannot compare with the Radharani. You should be in the footsteps of the Parampara, something like that, right, Prabhuji?
No, but she had a guru. It's not that she was on her own. She had a guru. I did research about Mirabai. Because Mirabai is a very good example. Everybody, please have a proper respect to Mirabai. Prabhupada also agreed she is a pure devotee. There is no question. But she did not, what you said at the end, also correct. She did not, you cannot show me any song of Mirabai glorifying Radharani. It's all about Krishna. In Vrindavan, Radharani holding the highest position. If you don't take shelter of Radharani, you can be still Krishna Bhakta, but you have to go outside Vrindavan, Dwarka or Mathura or somewhere. As simple as this. That's why she disappeared. She came to Vrindavan, but she didn't stay. She went to Dwarka and disappeared there. Prabhupada had a conversation. It's in Vedas, you can read about Mirabai conversation, Indian gentleman with Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, yes, she passed away. She's a pure devotee. We all agree. But this Mahaprabhu's confidential, Radhara Mahima Premarasa Sima Jagate Janatake. Mahaprabhu revealed Radharani's highest position. So our position as a follower of Mahaprabhu means we worship Krishna as Supreme God. We worship Radharani also as a Supreme God. Not that Krishna is Supreme God only.
So probably
Radha Krishna together are supreme. Not Krishna without Radha, we don't accept.
So Prabhu, just second, one more. In connection with this, Sukadeva Goswami, why he did not touch because we had a process on that side, Radharani's servant. Why Sukadeva Goswami did not touch in that?
Yeah, that question was repeatedly asked. Even we addressed during Radhastami too. As simple as this, Radhanath Maharaj spoke about it. Everybody speaks about it. Anayaradhito nanam Bhagavan.
Okay.
Balaram Prabhu. Okay. If you look at that verse, Anayaradhito nanam, the famous verse, that's the only verse directly addressed. Anayaradhito. How did Radharani get the name Radha? If you look at this, Bhagavatam says this, Anaya aradito nunam, Bhagavan Sharahari. So that line is there, Anaya aradito nunam. Sukdev Goswami did say, not that he didn't say, but he did not elaborate because time sensitive. Parikshit Maharaj going to leave this world in 7 days. By the time it was 10th canto, someone, I don't know, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or Sanatana Goswami says that almost 3.5 days is over. Only 3 days left, 3.5 days left maybe, for Sukdev Goswami to narrate the Krishna's pastime and entire Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. That's one point. Second point was that because he is considered very intimate, he is so much close proximity, even though he was, you can say in this life, he comes from Paratma Brahma Nishtha to Bhagavan Nishtha. But to go into the mystery of Srimati Radharani, he would completely forget about the purpose that he's speaking Bhagavatam. So that's how our Acharya gives a clue why Sukdev Goswami did not go elaborately. But if you look at Mahaprabhu, we have a two authority in our spiritual path. We have two authority, main authority. One authority is that Prabhupada coming down from Krishna, Guru Parampara, the whole Parampara is the authority. And it began with Krishna, the supreme absolute truth. But we do not accept Krishna without Radharani. So Radha Krishna together is origin of our Parampara began. It ended here with Prabhupada, but actually it started from Krishna and it passed through Mahaprabhu also. Another authority is Bhagavatam. Jiva Goswami literally composed so many verses. Few verses like, I'm sure you all are familiar with it. If not, get familiar. What did he say? Sarva Vedanta Saram hi Srimad Bhagavatam Ishyate. Tad Rasamrita Tiptisya. Sarva Vedanta Saram hi. Essence of all Vedic literature, Vedanta, is this Bhagavatam. If we do not accept Bhagavatam, we will be disturbed by any other Vedic literature. If you say, I don't want to read Bhagavatam, I will just read Mahabharata or any other Vedic. What is wrong? There's nothing wrong, but you will be disturbed. Because Bhagavatam gives the ultimate conclusion. It's just like this, as simple as this. Nigama kalpataru golitam phalam. The third verse of first chapter, first canto. What is the beauty of this? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, this is Nigama kalpataru golitam phalam. Sukhamaka drava amrita samjuta. Pivata bhagavata rasamalayam muhuruhu rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Soul is searching for ultimate nourishment. If you are hungry in front of a mango tree, if you say, this is a mango tree, okay, I'm so hungry, I want to eat. And you start biting the barks because fruits are on the top. Well, after a few moments, you'll lose your taste of biting anymore because bark, I don't know any one of you here ever did that, but I did actually. But I didn't go too far. After one bite, I say, I see that why the Shastra writes like this. Then if you take the twigs and the leaves, and you'll be disappointed. When you'll be successful? When you taste the mango. Say, yes, it is tasty and it is satisfying me. My hunger is going down and I'm getting strength and I'm tasting it. This is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam awaken our love for the Lord just by hearing Bhagavatam. So powerful. So Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur gave that commentary. Worshipping Krishna without Radharani is imperfect and incomplete. Chanting Hare Krishna without hearing Bhagavatam also imperfect and incomplete. Wow, that's a very powerful statement. That means we have to hear and chant both. Then we will combine, we will produce what we really want, and that is required. I hope that gives you some idea, Mahatma Prabhu. Is that okay?
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Prabhu.
Thank you.
Oh.
So, imagine we would not be sitting here and talking if Sukdev Goswami fainted and never woke up. And Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days is over. No, Krishna's arrangement, this happened. So, Prabhus and Mothers, the main focus today is that we get pure shelter of a pure devotee, means from the heart of that pure devotee. A particular, I think somebody put it on the chat, no? Or maybe not, I cannot look at it. Anyway, that 7.99, Prabhupada says that pleasure potency and cognizant potency, without these two potency, you can never get, period. These two potency are the main that shelter of a senior advanced devotee means from their heart, it is entering in my heart. How? When they see I'm following their instruction earnestly and really sincerely. Proportion to my conscious acceptance. It is not the event. We're not talking about event. Event means, oh, I sat down there, I throw the, what do you call, barley corn in the fire, and Guru Maharaj called my name, called me and then gave me new name. Prabhu, I'm done. No, you're not done. You just enter into the school of bhakti. Initiation is an event. It is not a completion. It is a beginning. Initiation, the word, English initiation. If you look at the Sanskrit terminology, Jiva Goswami Pad, Dibbam Gyanam hi atra. Samate mantre Bhagavat Sambandha Bhagavat Sarupa Vishesha Gyanam cha. This is Jiva Goswami Pad. That particular relationship of Bhagavat Sambandha, just like a matchmaker, Guru will tie you, bind you with your Ishtadev through the initiation. How? Through these two potency, Ladini and Sambit. What is Ladini? Pleasure potency. Sambit, cognizant potency. If you want to read more details, Adilila chapter 4, 60 onwards, you read 10, 15 slokas with purport. Prabhupada give a very details. How when Guru connects you with pure goodness, then it matures and it attracts Sambit. Sambit means feelings, relationship, feelings and relationship. And Ladini means nourishment. So, Prabhus and Mothers, when that is fully awakened in your heart, what is the main trouble in the conditioned soul? Mind. Mind creates big trouble. The biggest trouble comes from the mind. Abhanti Brahmana confessed that my whole trouble was not my family, was not demigod, was not neighbors. All this trouble he went. It looks like anybody can be blamed. I mean, we can blame. It's too hot. It's too cold. My mind is disturbed. I'm sick. All this blame can be there. He said, but only one blame. And guess what? When you evoke these two potency, it replaces the mind. Your mind is no more material mind. It becomes the rati. What is rati or bhava means? It replaces the mind with ladini potency and sambit potency. That time, rati enables. Prabhus and mothers, please remember this. These are so important. We don't talk so much about it. Rati means attachment to Krishna by those two potency will enable your perception of Krishna. Again, I'm repeating. What is Sambit Shakti reveals? Sambit Shakti reveals the self and relationship with Krishna in a form suitable to the devotee, your or devotee's nature. It will enable the tasting of his sweetness. This is what perception boils down to. Spiritual perception. I don't mean material. Also, this same roti, that bhava, roti and bhava, there is a little difference. Roti means initial awakening of that Krishna consciousness, that attachment. You feel a natural attraction to Krishna. So roti is experience of bliss. How? Being the Ladini Shakti, roti is bliss itself. And you all, devotee, will be blissful when roti awakens in your heart. This is so important, these chapters. So roti also directed towards Krishna. When roti is directed towards Krishna, that is called sthai bhav. Who are you? Other day we discussed 4 identity. First is who you are not. I'm not this material body. I'm not this material mind. I'm not American. I'm not Indian. I'm not this. I'm not that. You go on. No, 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 no. No jayate, no mriyate, no kadachin, bhutta. This is how Krishna explained. Nainam chanda, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kladantapo, no sushayati maratam. Krishna says, not this. You cannot be burned. You cannot be dry. You cannot be cut. Are Baba, so many negative Krishna is giving because it is required. Before he revealed who you are to Arjuna, he said what you are not. Then next comes, you are conscious being. Means consciously you have to connect. Okay, I am soul. No, no, no. Be aware what the function of the soul. Atmaban, Atmaban. Act as a soul. Not just I am saying I am soul. Act as a soul. Trigunna Vishaya Vida Nistraigunna Bhavarjuna Nirdanda Nitta Sattasto Ni Jogoshkema Atmaban. I hope you remember that. I did talk about it. Atmaban means you act like a soul, not as a human or a body, man or woman. No, act as a soul. Krishna wants Arjuna to act as a soul. So that's the second category. Third is he is a servant of Krishna. I'm a servant of Krishna. And fourth is in progression of Krishna consciousness, you will see you are the shelter of a particular sentiment in your heart. By the mercy of Guru, you will discover that you are holding that pure form of love for Krishna to enjoy as a lover, and you are offerer as a lover and Krishna as a beloved. So this is very important. So roti awakening means roti will be directed towards Krishna. When it is directed towards Krishna, Prabhus and mothers, please write it down. This is called sthai bhav. I think today one chapter or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have to look at it. Which chapter is which one? One of the chapter is about sthai bhav. You cannot convince Hanumanji not to serve Lord Ram. It's not possible. You cannot convince Mother Yashoda not to think of Krishna as her son. It's not possible. Where is this idea coming from? That is sthai bhav. This is their identity. Who am I? I'm the mother of this Lala. Even Krishna asked Mother Yashoda. I'm sure you heard that. Who created everything, Mother? Mother Yashoda answered to Krishna. God created everything. Maya, who maintains everything? God maintains everything. Where do I come from, Mummy? Oh, you come from me. This is how she thinks. Everybody else came from God, but Krishna asked, where do I come from? He said, I came from me. Who will maintain mother? I will maintain you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. Is that wrong or right? Don't ask that question. This is a fact. And Krishna accept that. This is called Sthai Bhav. One of the chapter, I think it's 28, or let me see. What is the address? Okay, 28 is Sattvik Bhav. 27 is Anubhava. 26 today we'll start with is Uddipan, one of the Vibhava. So tomorrow will be Sthai Bhav. But at least you know that what is Sthai Bhav, which means a permanent relationship of love. So when you awaken Rati by these two potency through Guru or senior devotee, that will make Krishna and you take on a role of Vishaya and Ashraya, beloved and lover. I know it's a little technical, but Prabhu's and Mother, you have to hammer this in your consciousness. It is not an option. It is compulsory. So let's put together. So there is Rati, Sthai Bhav. Everybody is familiar with that. Rati mixes with Vibhava. Vibhava has a Uddipan, Alamban. Then it mixes with Anubhava. Today we are going to hear it, presentation, right after I finish. Then Sattvik Bhav. And then Bevichari Bhav. You taste. And that mix, Rasa, will enable each of us to attain the highest astonishing peak of bliss. This is very important. Rati produce Rasa, which then increase Rati even more. So is your Sthai Bhav fixed? Yes. In one way to look at it, but another way, no, it's always growing. It's growing, 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 growing. It also don't end. In other words, I want to make it very clear. Rati remains, that is, the permanent relationship. Sthai Bhav remain. The impurities in Bhava will disappear. I give you an example. Dandakaranya rishis, golden Sita, thousands of golden Sita, who is also person, person, because Sita Devi was in Valmiki ashram. Anyway, I won't go to that big story past time. But then you think of Nagakanna, from the demigod places, 16,000 group came. Yes. When they came in Ras Leela, the first Ras Leela, for everybody to allow. From the Zoom, you can allow there too. If you are qualified, you can allow. You will be allowed. From ISKCON, I'm sure they will be. This called Sarat Ras. Basanta Ras, you cannot. You are not allowed. It's only for the permanent resident. Sarat Purnima, yes, you can. Sarat Ras Leela. So when you enter there, what take place? So Krishna played the flute. I'm just giving you one example to understand this. Krishna played the flute. The gopis, they have no idea how many thousand years. How many of you actually know how many life you practice in Krishna consciousness? I doubt. It looks like this is the only life, Prabhu. I just came in. I don't remember. Yes, but Krishna remembers. Don't worry. Nothing is lost. But it looks like I just came in. When Prabhupada says, Jasam tu antagata papam jananam punna karmana te danda mohani mukta bhajante mam dhirabrata. You have to be firmly fixed. Dhirabrata. Dhirabrata means conviction with determination. Then you will achieve in this life. But how you get the conviction and determination? Oh, you already born with perfect, nice, pious life. And you have accumulated so much from previous life. And one Western devotee raised his hand to Prabhupada. He said, my mother was eating beef when I was in her womb. When I was born, till I met you, I was eating beef, hot dog, and all kinds of food. There was nothing pious. So Prabhupada just quoted that verse. Krishna says, only by the pious credit you become firmly fixed. Now Prabhupada found a challenge, Western disciple, challenging to Prabhupada, that the verse says, Krishna says that from your pious credit you become firmly fixed. And that devotee says that, but I didn't do anything until I meet you. Prabhupada said, that's true. I have created you this pious credit. Don't turn back. Keep going forward. You will be okay. So like this, yes, this is called kripa. In one of the section, I will also explain later that two-way you awaken that rati. One is sadhana, one is kripa. So with that note, I'll end here, but the 9th symptom I supposed to discuss, I'm going to just say first symptom because it takes a long time. Now, if you say, where is the reference, so you can read, because I'll discuss also tomorrow. If you have Patitaran, anybody has Chaitanya Charitamrita access, look at 23.17. If you got initiation, means you're getting the seed of bhakti. And if you got the seed of bhakti, then transcendental emotion, Prabhus and mothers, must be manifesting. You know, if you sow the seed in a fertile ground, and if you say nothing is growing, are you watering? Is there a sunshine? You don't have to tell the seed, come on, come out, come out. You don't have to. When you have a child, I'm sure many of you have experience. When you have a child in your house, child you giving food, affection, care, child play, child having a wonderful time and healthy food. Child is digesting, child is breathing properly. Everything is good. Do you have to tell the child? Please answer my question. Do you have to tell the child, come on, baby, grow up. I'm feeding you nice food. I'm giving you good shelter, affection, protection. Come on, grow up. Do you have to tell, or baby will grow automatically? Come on, tell me.
Grow automatically.
Thank you. Think bhakti like this. If you do good sadhana, properly understanding and acting on it, bhakti will grow. Now, Mother Sankari Devi, you said baby will grow automatically. Now, a typical question. If baby is not growing, what does that mean?
There is something that I'm not doing right. There is something that the mother is not doing right.
Or baby is dying. Because sometimes baby also dies. It's not like grown-up people die or old people die. I did go to children's hospital here in Florida. One Mataji, her baby died, and I went there to give a little, just a memorial discussion, how to understand this. And if you look at this, Prahlad Maharaj also said this in his expression to Nishingadev. One of the verse he says that even the children dies. So my point is that baby will also die even if you do everything, if you did not do perfectly. As Mother Sankari Devi says, yes. If you do not, you say, well, there is a nice blanket, nice bed I made for the baby, but you're not giving food, baby will not grow. You have to do everything properly. So we have to do our sadhana also perfectly. Then automatically it will grow. Now, anybody had access on the Chaitanya Charitamrita 23.17?
Yeah, I already shared, Prabhu, in the text.
Can you read it? I like to hear it.
If one actually has the seed of transcendental emotion in his heart, the symptoms will be visible in his activities. That is the verdict of all revealed scriptures.
Very nice. Now, 23.5, if you go, this is the verse. Every Acharya quote that verse. What is Bhava Bhakti? Memorize that. You know why I memorized that one? Because I was greedy for it. We should be greedy for that. Suddha Satta Vishesh Atma Prema Surjangsha Sammabhav Ruchi Vischitta Masrinna Kridosho Bhava Uchate. What is the definition of bhav? Is this one. If anybody has, please read it loudly. I want to hear Prabhupada's translation instead of hearing my own translation. Anyone?
I can read, Prabhu.
Go
Hare
ahead,
Krishna.
Mother Kamala Devi.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. So it says, when the devotional service is executed on the transcendental platform of pure goodness, it is like a sun ray of love for Krishna. At such a time, devotional service causes the heart to be softened by various tastes, and one is then situated in bhava, emotion. The verse
That's
is
it.
found in yeah.
Very good. Very good. So everybody understand what is the bhava means? Always quote that verse. If you cannot remember the Sanskrit, but there is a sweetness of Sanskrit. If you cannot, at least remember the translation. Because your immediate goal is not prema. I hope everybody heard this million times from me. You may get tired of hearing it. I'm assuring that our immediate goal is not love of God. It's our bhava. Then automatically you will be under internal potency and bhava will take you to prema. But until we go to Vastu Siddhi, there is a still little risk is there, like Jara Bharat, who else is Jara Bharat? Few examples, Billamangal Thakur also. He fell down from bhava. But once you are gone to Vastu Siddhi, then you're done. A good example, yeah, I never completed. So this Gopi, this Dandakarana Rishis and other, they enter into Vrindavan. So when they enter into Vrindavan, you have to take birth from the womb of Braja Gopi. Do you know any Gopi came from outside Vrindavan, join in Raslila? Never such thing. Try to grasp it. Never such thing. There is no such thing. Where is the proof? 9th chapter, Madhya. I don't remember the exactly verse number, but I can quote those verses because those verses I chew it like a lozenge. You know, you can chew it. Srutigan Gopiganer Anugata Haya Brajeshwari Suta Baje Braja Bhava Laiya Pajja Antare Jave Gopi Deho Paila Shei Sange Krishna Sange Rasha Kirya Koila. Krishna Ek, Gopojati, Gopi Peyashita. Anyhow, those verses are so beautiful. It gives a very clarity. What is the clarity? That those sages doing thousands of years of meditation, finally they enter into Vrindavan. How do you enter into Vrindavan before you go to Raslila? You have to be born from the womb of a Gopi. Wow. Nobody from outside can enter into Raslila. Just like after 35 years in ISKCON, this devotee says, in my village, he lives here, but I won't say the name because I love him too. He said, Lord Shiva appeared to this villager and he took him to Raslila. I said, you can brainwash some people, but don't try to brainwash me. It's not going to work. He said, Pran Govinda Prabhu, why are you saying brainwash? I said, where is such thing ever explained by any Acharya? Why you come up with this village folks talk? Why Lord Shiva would just pull out? Because he was a devotee of Shiva. Shiva Bhakta does not go to Krishna's Raslila. But you will hear these kind of things. It looks like anybody can enter. No. Those verses Mahaprabhu clearly says in 9th chapter, Madhya Lila, That Srutigan, Gopigan, Srutigan, the Veda personified, Sruti personified, then the Dandakaranya rishis, they all came, they took birth from the Gopi of Vrindavan. Krishna will never dance. You ever wonder why Krishna did not allow Shiva to stay in Raslila? Why Krishna never allowed the Dijapatnis, even though they are pure, to enter into Raslila? So you have to have a two qualification. What is it? Bhajya antar jabe gopi deha paila sei dehe Krishna sange rasakira koila. If anybody has a access on, you can just type it out. Bhajya antar jabe gopi deha paila. You'll find in 9th chapter Madhulila. This is Venkata Bhatta discussion and Lord Chaitanya discussion with Venkata Bhatta. So there it is beautifully explained. So Krishna plays flute. These girls, they did severe austerity for thousands of years. They just entered into Vrindavan. They have no clue how many lives they went on meditation and this, that to come to this point. But still, they have an attachment, husband, children. But then, middle of the night, when Krishna was 8 years old, 7 years old, he picked up Govardhan. Next year, first Raslila started. There, Krishna played the flute, and the flute sound carried by Duti. Who was here? Somebody said, how do I become a Duti? Duti. Was it Purushottam Prabhu? Yeah. I remember that. He's here. Duti means messenger. Krishna has a millions of messenger. Flute is also messenger. So take the message, goes through the window to the ear of the girl, goes to the heart, takes the heart, get out all the way to Krishna and place the heart of that gopi at the lotus feet of Krishna. And the gopi is in the house going completely plastic. You know, loco, in Spanish language, they say, it's like a crazy. I want to be with Nanda Maharaja's son. I don't care. Then they see Yogamaya creates somebody like a husband or father-in-law, mother-in-law. They are like, where are you going? What are you thinking? Like all this fear causes. Then the gopi cries inside. I don't care anything in life. I want to be with Nanda Maharaja's son. They cry and they cry and they cry. All of a sudden, they notice there is another girl. This is beautiful. Rupa Goswami Pad writes, Maya kalpita tadrika stri shilanena anusuyabi na jatu brajadevinam pativi sahasangama. Pativi. From that moment, they never associated with their husband. From that moment, from that day. See how Bostu Siddhi takes place. So they all of a sudden, after intense cry for Krishna, they see another girl just like her. Say, who is this girl? Oh, she just looked like me. And then they look at themselves. So beautiful. Wow, I have a new body. And they see the door is open. They just walk out. And they run and run in the middle of the forest to meet Krishna. And when Krishna, of course, there's a whole stage of acceptance, you know. Like I remember when I was getting the citizenship of America, there's like a little ceremony takes place by the government. It was a big, all these whoever getting the citizenship of America. I remember it was a big ceremony. And you can be next to Bill Clinton. That time Bill Clinton was the president. But his photo, you know, statue, you take a photo. Oh, why? You're now American or something like that. So I could relate. So Krishna actually arranged, Yogamaya arranged this meeting, first meeting. From that moment, they do not know what material world is. There is never a chance they fall down. They eternally enter into Golok Vrindavan from that moment and always with Krishna. This Bostu Siddhi, and before that, it's Sadhan Siddhi stage. After Bostu Siddhi, no more fall down. I don't know why I went that route, but I just wanted to establish this point. Is that clear, everybody? So our goal is to awaken Bhava, what will take us to next life where Krishna is doing his lila. And then Vastu Siddhi will take place. But in this life, Prabhus and mothers, there is a risk. You will never come to a point that you may not fall down. No, there is a chance. Can somebody repeat what I said last sentence so I know that actually you heard it? Someone, please.
Can I, Prabhu? There is always a
Yes.
chance you will fall down.
In this life, yes.
In this life, yes.
Even you become perfected, this is called Swarup Siddhi, there is a still risk that you can deviate, like Jada Bharat. He had a bhava. He used to cry for Krishna, for Surya Narayan he was worshipping. He was so devoted. But look at little tiny deer diverted his attention. And he had to suffer another 2 lives. Prahladananda Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I have a question on that. So is it not possible for somebody to rise above 3 modes of material nature and get situated in Shuddha Sattva in this lifetime? Because Bhavan Krishna says 14.26, Mam cha avyabhichara bhakti yogena sevate sagunan sampitaitan. So does it mean that we cannot have avyabhichara bhakti during this lifetime?
No, that is Bhava Bhakti.
Oh, that's
Bhava Bhakti means Nirguna platform. But the chances to come down is always there until Vastu Siddhi, next life. So this life we have to be careful, but we have to awaken Bhava. But chances are there. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur did mention, I remember reading it, that generally it does not happen. Generally they don't fall down. But sometimes Krishna sees the heart. Prabhu, when you have time, you read this 10.14.8 Bhagavatam. Tatte anukampa susamikṣamana bhunjane bhatma kritam vipakam ridvaga bhavuvi vidadan namaste jive tajo mukti padesho dayavak. In the purport of that purport is given by Prabhupada. Don't put a logic, well, this is up to 13th chapter, Prabhupada did this 14th chapter. If anybody is fanatic, I hope none of you are fanatic. But in case you are, that purport is forwarded from Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita purport to here. Prabhupada wrote that purport. And in the purport, you will see Prabhupada write. I'm paraphrasing. Prabhupada said, even if there is a little trace, Prabhupada and Mother, I can relate this. Sometime when you are advancing for little attachment here, there, you feel like, I don't care. No, be very careful. Krishna will pay attention. Krishna wants your heart 100% clear, pure. That devotee is little mean, Prabhu. I don't care. No. Be respectful. Why I'm respectful to all the devotees in the temple except these 2. I don't like them. They are always judgmental. No, you cannot be like that. You have to be free from all. If not, there will be a little incident happen. And Prabhupada said, I remember in the purport, he said, the soul does not let go, the last vestige. So Krishna created a scenery. What can someone help me? What happened to Jada Bharat in the deer body? Not before, not after. What happened in the deer body? Why the deer body was required? Intensity was not there before. Yes, Mother Sankari, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think you answered that question. So what happened in the deer body is that Bharat Maharaj still remembered as to how he fell down from his position because he got too attached to the deer and he even forgot about his sadhana. But he was so careful in that life that he never associated with any of his dear kins. And he went back to the same ashram where some rishis were already doing tapasya and just stayed around them. And then his next body was a Bharat, and he remembered even what had happened to Bharat Maharaj as well as the deer bodies. Yes.
Very good. Very good. Good understanding. Yes, that is regard. So Prabhu's and Mother, don't neglect. Just try to purify. Just accept it. It hurts. Somebody criticize you, but to respect that person, it hurts. Yes, but do it. Even though it hurts, do it. Just be respectful. Pressure yourself. Then you don't have to take another little deviation, another life. Why? Just make it this life, last life. Possible, 100% possible. So these are little touch. So what I'll do, I'll talk about these words, details tomorrow, because 9 symptom is important, but at least you know the definition of bhava from where it's coming from. And then we'll talk about, okay, another words I'm just going to give you so that you can prepare yourself. Can someone help me? 23rd chapter, on the same chapter, 18 and 19. And I can tell you what Prabhupada said about this verse. Prabhupada literally said, are you all developing? Are you all detecting whether you are advancing or not? And these words, Prabhupada and Mother put it on the chat, must memorize. You have no choice or no option, because this is the detection. There is a 9 symptom in these 2 verses. Skanti Rabbirta Kalattam. How do you know your guru is pure? These words will tell you. Those symptoms, you find it. How do you know this devotee you respect is advanced? See those symptoms in that person. This is very important. Skanti Rabbirta Kalattam Viraktimana Sunnata Asabandha Samat Kanta Namagane Sadaruchi Ashukti Tad Gunakhane Priti Tad Bashoti Stale Iti Yadda Anubhava Suchato Bhavam Kurajane. Translation? Anyone?
Yes, Prabhu. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior: forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to description of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where the Lord resides, that is, a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called Anubhava, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify.
Not fully matured, but began to fructify. This is Bhava symptom. These 9 symptoms. You have to hammer it in your consciousness in forefront, whole day till last breath. This 9 symptom. See within yourself, see within others. It's interesting. I didn't even realize Prabhupada puts Kanti is forgiveness. Means you have to forgive all the time, even somebody yell to you. You don't have a choice. Well, wait a minute. Is that automatically supposed to happen, or we have to cultivate this? Can someone help me with that tricky question?
You have to cultivate.
Thank you. It is automatic, but you have to cultivate. This is very important. Okay, and then tomorrow I'll discuss each symptom little elaborate as we go. Okay, we can start with the chapter 26 today. Mother Sri Upanishad Devi, are you ready? Patitaran Prabhu, am I right? She is doing that,
Yes,
right?
yes, Prabhu. So today is chapter 26 by Sri Upanishad Mataji.
Well, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prang Govinda Das Maharaj, for all that stimulation for ecstatic love. That is exactly what this chapter is about. I've been a little bit, I'm always hyped, by the way, but I have to ground myself. I've been like, quite a few things have been going on in this material world today for me. So I have to sing this little melody first. Please accept my obeisances, all glories to Sri Guru and Guranga. And I just want to say, Agre Puranam Arthapandavanam Dusasanetarta Prastra Kesha Krishna Tadakroshat Ananyanata Govinda Damo Dharamadavedi. Haribo, Hare Krishna. I think I'm calm now. I just had to sing that melody. So, how are we devotees doing? How's everyone? Hare Krishna.
We are
Some
eager
things,
to hear.
some things which gives impetus or stimulation to ecstatic love of Krishna are his transcendental qualities. And I will be reading this chapter mostly. Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, has gave us so much stimulation to develop this ecstatic love. And some of these activities are uncommon for Krishna. His smiling features, his apparel, garlands, his flute, his buffalo horn, his leg bells, his conch shell, his footprints, his places of pastimes, such as Vrindavan, his favorite plant, Tulsi, his devotee and the periodical occasions for remembering him, which includes Ekadasi, which comes twice a month on the 11th day of the moon, both waning and waxing. And that day, all the devotees remain fasting throughout the night and continuously chant the glories of the Lord. So we will begin with Krishna's transcendental qualities, his uncommon activities, and his smile. As far as Krishna's transcendental qualities are concerned, there are three groups, and they are pertaining to his transcendental body, his transcendental speech, and his qualities pertaining to his transcendental mind. Krishna's age, his transcendental bodily features, his beauty, and his mildness are qualities pertaining to his body. There is no difference between Krishna and his body, and therefore the transcendental features pertaining to his body are the same as Krishna himself. But because these qualities stimulate the devotee's ecstatic love, they have been analyzed as separate causes of that love. To be attracted by the qualities of Krishna means to be attracted by Krishna himself. There is no real distinction between Krishna and his qualities. Krishna's name is also Krishna. Krishna's fame is also Krishna. Krishna's entourage is also Krishna. Everything related with Krishna gives stimulation to love of Krishna are all Krishna. But for our understanding, these items may be considered separately. First, since Krishna is the reservoir of all transcendental pleasure, Krishna's age is considered in 3 periods. For his appearance day to the end of his 5th year is called Kamara. From the beginning of the 6th year up to the end of the 10th year is called Paganda. And the 11th to the end of the 15th year is called Kashora. After the beginning of the 16th year, Krishna is called a Yavana, or youth, and this continues with no change. As far as his pastimes are concerned, during the Kamara, the Paganda, and Kashora periods, his affectionate pastimes with his parents are executed during his Kamara age. His friendship with the cowherd boys is exhibited during the Paganda period, or Paganda period. And his friendship with the gopis is exhibited during the age of Kashora. Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan are finished by the end of his 15th year, and then he is transferred to Mathura and Dwarka, where all other pastimes are performed. Now, Krishna's Kishora's age may be divided into 3 parts. In the beginning of his Kishora age, that is, at the beginning of his 11th year, the luster of his body becomes so bright that it becomes an impetus for ecstatic love. Similarly, there are reddish borders around his eyes and a growth of soft hairs on his body. In describing this early stage of his Kisora age, Kundalata, one of the residents of Vrindavan, said to her friend, I have just seen an extraordinary beauty appearing in the person of Krishna. His blackish bodily hue appears just like the Indranila jewel. There are reddish signs on his eyes, and small soft hairs are coming out of his body. The appearance of these symptoms has made him extraordinarily beautiful. There is a connection with the gopis, and this is shared in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's in the 21st chapter, and Sukadeva Goswami tells King Pariksit how the gopis describes, how the minds of the gopis are describing their thoughts of Krishna. And he goes on to say sometimes the gopis would think about his soft nails, his moving eyebrows, and his teeth. One description was given by a gopi to her friend. And my dear friend, she says, just see how the enemy of Agha has assumed such wonderful features. His brows are just like the bow of Cupid, and they are moving just as though they were dancing. The tips of his nails are so soft, it is as if they were dried bamboo leaves. His teeth are reddish, and so it appears that he has assumed a feature of anger. Krishna's attractive features are also described by Vrinda, the gopi after whom Vrindavan was named. She told Krishna, my dear Madhava, your newly invented smile has so captivated the hearts of the gopis that they are simply unable to express themselves. As such, they have become bewildered and will not talk with others. All of these gopis have become so affected that it is as if they have offered 3 sprinkles of water upon their lives. And they say that this, according to the Indian system, when a person is dead, there's a sprinkling of water. And I'll ask about that after I get through reading this wonderful chapter. And it goes on to say, when Krishna arrived at the age of 13 to 14 years, his 2 arms and his chest assumed an unspeakable beauty, and his whole form became simply enchanting. When Krishna attained 13 years of age, his 2 thighs were challenging the trunks of elephants. His rising chest was trying to come to peace talks with doors of jewels, and his 2 arms were minimizing the value of the boats found on doors. Wow, what a beauty. They're describing the wonderful beauty of his features, of his body. They go on to say that at this age, Krishna also enjoyed the Rasa Leela, exhibiting his power of joking with the cowherd girls and enjoying their company in the bushes of the gardens by the bank of the Yamuna. It is said that in this connection, there is the following statements. Throughout the whole tract of land known as Vrindavan, there were the footprints of Krishna and the gopis, and in some places, peacock feathers were strewn about. They said that in the following statement by one gopi, describing Krishna's attractive feature during this age, my dear friend, just see how all of a sudden in the sky of Krishna there is a powerful rising sun, and how this rising sun is minimizing the rays of our chastity moon. Our attraction for Krishna is so intense that it is drying up the lotus flower of our discrimination. And we are losing our senses and deciding whether we shall continue as chaste women or be victimized by the beauty of Krishna. My dear friend, I think that we have lost all hope of life. In the Kishore age, beginning from the 11th year and continuing up to the end of the 15th year, Krishna's arms, legs, thighs became marked with 3 divisional lines. His chest challenged a hill of Makato jewels. His arms challenged pillars of the Indranila jewel. The 3 lines of his waist challenged the waves of the river Yamuna, and his thighs challenged beautiful bananas. One gopi said, with all of these exquisite features of his body, Krishna is too extraordinarily beautiful, and therefore I am always thinking of him to protect me because he is the killer of demons. The Kishore age can be translated as adult, I should say. And at the end of this period, all the gopis said, Krishna is the killer of the attraction of Cupid. And as such, he disturbs the patience of all newly married girls. Krishna's bodily features have become so exquisite, it is as if they were all manifesting an artistic sense of the highest sort. There are 6 features. Well, I just want to say this too. His body is sometimes described as Nava Yavana, newly invented youthfulness. And at this stage of Krishna's bodily features, the conjugal loving affairs with the gopis and similar pastimes become very prominent. There are 6 features of conjugal loving affairs called peacemaking, mocking a quarrel, going to meet one's lover, sitting together, separation, and support. Lord Krishna expanded an empire of these 6 features, of which he was the ruling prince. Somewhere he was picking quarrels with the young girls, somewhere he was scratching them with the nails of parrots, somewhere he was busy going to visit the gopis, and somewhere he was negotiating through cowherd friends to take shelter of the gopis. Some of the gopis addressed him, Dear Krishna, because of your adolescent age, you have become the spiritual master of these young girls, and you are teaching them to whisper among themselves. You are teaching them to offer solemn prayers, as well as training them to cheat their husbands and to join you in the gardens at night. Without caring for the instructions of their superiors, you are enthusing them by the vibration of your enchanting flute. And as their teacher, you are teaching them all intricacies of loving affairs. It is said that even when Krishna was a boy of 5, he manifested such youthful energies, but learned scholars do not explain them because of the absence of suitable age. Krishna was beautiful because every part of his body was perfectly arranged without any defect. Such perfect bodily features of Krishna are described as follows. My dear enemy of Kamsa, your broad eyes, your rising chest, your pillar-like arms, and thin middle portion of your body are always enchanting to every lotus-eyed beautiful girl. The ornaments on the body of Krishna were not actually enhancing his beauty, but just the reverse. The ornaments were beautified by Krishna. A person is also called mild when he cannot bear the touch of the most soft thing. It is described that every part of Krishna's body was so soft that even his skin would change. At this Kishore age, Krishna's endeavors were always bent toward arranging the Rasa dance, as well as toward killing the demons in the forest of Vrindavan. While Krishna was engaged in enjoying with the boys and girls within the forest of Vrindavan, Kamsa used to send his associates to kill Krishna, and Krishna would show his prowess by killing them. We go on to Krishna's apparel and garlands. Generally, there are 4 kinds of garments on the body of Krishna: his shirt, turban, belt, and wearing garment. He used to put on reddish garments, this is in Vrindavan, with a golden shirt on his body and an orange-colored turban on his head. There were different kinds of belts combined with his enchanting smile. The akapa refers to the texture of Krishna's hair. His nicely dressed body anointed with sandalwood pulp and decorated with flower gardens, his tilak and his chuan pan. Krishna was decorated constantly in this akapa process. Krishna's hair was sometimes decorated with flowers placed on the middle of his head, or else it was reaching down to his back. Krishna used to put a Vaijayanti garland around his neck. This Vaijayanti garland is made of flowers of at least 5 different colors. Such a garland was always long enough to touch Krishna's knees or feet. Besides this garland of flowers, there were other kinds of flower garlands too, sometimes decorating his head, hanging around his neck and his chest. One gopi addressed her friend and began to praise the bodily features of Krishna. She praised his blackish complexion, the reddish color of chuan pan enhancing his beauty hundreds of times, the curling hair on his head, the red spots of kumkuma on his body, and a tilak on his forehead. His helmet, his earrings, his necklace, his 4 garments, are bangles on his hands, the rings on his fingers, his ankle bells, and his flute. These are the different features of Krishna's ornaments. Krishna, the enemy of Agha, always looked beautiful with his incomparable helmet, his earrings made of diamonds, his necklace of pearls, his bangles, his embroidered garments, and the beautiful rings on his fingers. Krishna is sometimes called Vana Mali. Vana means forest, and Mali means gardener. So Vana Mali refers to one who is extensively uses flowers and garlands on different parts of his body. Krishna was dressed like this not only in Vrindavan, but also on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Seeing such colorful dress and the garlands of different flowers, some great sages prayed, Lord Krishna was going to the battlefield of Kurukshetra not to fight, but to grace all the devotees with his presence. Krishna's flute. As far as Krishna's flute is concerned, it is said that the vibration of this wonderful instrument was able to break the meditation of the greatest sages. Krishna was thus challenging Cupid by advertising his transcendental glories all over the world. There are three types of flutes, or three kinds, used by Krishna. One is Venu, Murali, and the third is called Vamsi. Venu is very small, not more than 6 inches long, with 6 holes for whistling. Murali is about 8 inches long, with a hole at the end and 4 holes on the body of the flute. And this kind of flute produces a very enchanting sound. The Vamsi flute is about 15 inches long with 9 holes on the body. Krishna used to play on these 3 flutes occasionally when they were needed. Krishna has a longer Vamsi, which is called Mahananda or Samohini. When it is still longer, it is called Akarsani. When it's even longer than that, it is called Anandani. The Anandani flute is very pleasing to the cowherd boys and is technically named Vamshuli. These flutes were sometimes bedecked with jewels, sometimes they were made of marble, and sometimes of hollow bamboo. When the flute is made of jewels, it is called Samohini. When made of gold, it is called Akarsani. Then we have Krishna's buffalo horn. That's the bugling instrument. This instrument was always highly polished and circled with gold bands, and on the middle there was a hole. Regarding these instruments, there's a metaphorical statement about a gopi named Taravali. It is said that Taravali was bitten by the venomous snake of Krishna's flute. Then, in order to neutralize that poisonous effect, she drank the milk produced by the buffalo horn in the hand of Krishna. But instead of decreasing the poisonous effect, it increased it 1,000 times. The gopis was thus put into the most miserable poison condition. The attraction of Krishna's leg bells, Krishna's conch shell, Krishna's footprints, Krishna's places of pastimes, Krishna's favorite plant, Tulsi, Krishna devotees, and special days for remembering Krishna. These are all festivities, overwhelming joys to help a devotee become more prayerful, attentive, stimulated for ecstatic love for Krishna. Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
It's very nice. Patitaran Jagannath Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, such a wonderful presentation, Mataji. Thank you so much. So,
She didn't miss anything.
Yes.
She gave a complete. Very nice. Anyone has a question on this is the last chapter of Vibhava. I hope you all got that, my post that in the Dakshin Vibhava, chapter 20 to 34, it's called Dakshin Vibhava. So Dakshin Vibhava means the component or ingredients. You want to make dal or khichdi, you need rice, dal, vegetables, salt, what do you put? Turmeric, I don't know. I really don't cook, so I should not even say that. But I have some idea how they cook. So similarly, to make it rasa, all this component has to be there. So we just completed the last part of the Vibhava. So can I call someone and ask what rati and rasa, what's the difference? Or is there any difference? Because we are going very nice speed, but I want to make sure also you're getting it. Can someone help me? Is there a difference between rati and rasa?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Rati is our attachment, and rasa is the mellow that we enjoy performing a service to Krishna.
What you said is correct, but I want little descriptive, little more related to now what we are. Mother Sujata.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Rati means Bhava.
Yes, very good. Rati is a attachment. What she said is correct, but here Rati means Bhava. These 9 symptoms will show us whether we have or not. You can detect literally. Skanti Abhartha Kalattam. Okay, I'm done with the service. Now I can go my room and sleep for till tomorrow. That's not a symptom of bhava. Symptom of bhava means abhyartha kalattam. Now I can meditate on Krishna or chant. That is called abhyartha kalattam. Not like now I am on my own. I can rest or do whatever I want to do. Is everybody clear on that? That's why those 9 symptoms. What you said, Mother Kamala Devi, is correct. Rati means attachment to Krishna. But what Mother Sujata said, it is the bhava, that there is a symptom, 9 symptom, whether I have that attachment develop or not. So that's good. What about rasa?
Hare Krishna, didn't you say that the Stai Bhava is a part of the rasa?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Because if I say no, that will be lie. Because in order to have a rasa, sthai bhav has to be there. But sthai bhav is like a, how do you say, let's see. If you make cheese sabji, aloo gobi cheese sabji. Do you make aloo gobi cheese sabji? Why am I making up something? Okay. You like a potato, cheese, and cauliflower sabji. What is the main ingredients here? Or let's pick anything, something simple sabji you all can relate. What is
Main
it? What
ingredient is milk.
What is it?
Cheese. Milk would be the main ingredient for cheese, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Mother Susilpa.
Vegetables, Prabhuji, and salt.
Okay. I can't cook.
So I'm trying to find a sabji that has a 6 ingredients.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm sure there are. I just don't focus. You know, to be honestly, please forgive me. I'm not a cook. I love honoring prasadam. Don't misunderstand that. I mean, I can make oatmeal, but you cannot offer too many times to Krishna oatmeal. Just one time, Krishna will probably get bored. But devotee here, they cook really good, nice prasadam. Krishna is very happy. So if you think any sabji with a 5 ingredients together, then what is the main ingredient is the sthai bhav. Without that, like for an example, okay, rasgulla. Can you make rasgulla without milk? Come on, Prabhus and mothers, say yes or no.
No.
No, thank you. So what about without sugar?
No.
No. So if you think like a preparation, the main ingredients is the sthai bhav. So sthai bhav is not just a ingredients, it is the main, it is the base. I wonder, there is a subject or something you can like relate. Like, this is the base. Like, without this, there is no rasa, first of all. Well, without other ingredients, also not rasa. But without this, you cannot even think. Okay, how about this? Making a rice, bhat. Because when I say in English, rice is a raw rice, cooked rice. You have to differentiate. Rice is like a vague word. So when you have a raw rice, just like Mahaprabhu challenged this Brahmana. Excuse me, I see you put some batasa, the little, what do you call, sweet candy in Bengal there, and some raw rice. So Nimai Pandit, a young boy, he asked this Brahmana, Tandul Brahman, sir, do you eat this raw rice? Say, Nimai, why are you asking me like this? Well, you offer to Narayan, Vishnu Shila. So I'm just curious, if you don't eat, how can you offer this? I'm a Brahmana, you're teaching me. Sir, I'm not teaching you. I'm just learning, curious. Prabhu's and mother, this is not only Nimai Pandit. In my childhood life, I saw in Hindu family, they eat nice, big, sabji, dal, all this. But as for the altar deity, little sugar candy in the plate and just that's it. Ring the bell. Okay, ho gaya. Done. Offering to God. And as for myself, oh, my wife will cook a big meal. You know, bhaja, sabji, this, that. So Nimai Pandit, Mahaprabhu was trying to crash this misconception. You know what happened to this? Anybody knows Roshikananda Prabhu? You heard the name Roshikananda Prabhu, one of the big preacher in our movement. Right after Mahaprabhu, he's a disciple of Shyamananda Prabhu, Shyamananda Pandit. The three, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas, Shyamananda. Roshikananda Prabhu delivered a elephant, a crazy elephant, mad elephant. The Muslim king engaged the mad elephant to destroy, see his power. Then he made the elephant devotee, then Muslim king also became devotee, Hare Krishna devotee. So Rasikananda Prabhu is a very powerful preacher. So then question came that how this mad elephant became devotee, where this mad elephant came. This is the story, where it came from. So I'm giving you this little story. So Nimai Pandit says, so if you don't eat this candy and raw rice, but you offering to God to eat, I'm trying to put a logic. How is God going to eat? You know what that Brahmana said to Nimai Pandit, not knowing that he is Supreme God? He said, Nimai, first of all, God doesn't have a form to eat. Then Nimai says, but then you offering formless God? Nimai, why you arguing this? And even if he has a form, he has a Lakshmi, she will cook for him. Okay, sir. Your idea, it looks like you are a big guy, but your intelligence is very tiny, like an elephant. I think you should become an elephant. You don't fit in a Brahman. So he literally took birth as an elephant. That's how the elephant came. So when we practice devotional path, we should think actually deeply how Lord eats, how this roti develop, how this roti become rasa. We need to know these details. Then you can grasp it and you can apply and really awaken in your life. Everybody clear on that? Not just do the traditional. I'm not blaming my parents, but they also did that. And I remember they, I don't know if you know, I don't know how to say. There's a batasa. Batasa means a sugar candy in Bengal. They offer this to the deity. As for eating themselves, oh, there is a aloo dam, gobi sabji, this, that, so many preparation. But as for Bhagavan, God, little candy you just offer. That's it. So this is not Krishna consciousness. This is a Hindu consciousness or whatever it is. Misconception. Mahaprabhu did not approve that. Yes, you may say this is better than nothing. Yes, it is better. But you won't go too far with it. You will be stuck in the material world, maybe heaven, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not interested to research on that. I love Krishna consciousness, that we become family member of Krishna. Feed Krishna what you enjoy. Play with Krishna, just like this, serve Krishna, and Krishna wants that. So it is important we should know what is roti, what is rasa, and what are the ingredients. So this mother, Sri Ishopanishad Devi, she revealed the Uddipan. Very nice. I mean, a particular stage that when you see a particular face, like for an example, I'm sure there are many mothers in this Zoom. When you have a infant baby, but you have to go to work or went to somewhere and baby in the home, then somebody show you, tell you that, oh, your baby was smiling other day, it was so cute. Or show you iPhone, with the baby smiling, your baby smiling. All of a sudden, how do you feel? How do you feel? Come on.
Scary,
Yeah.
afraid.
Yes. You feel some emotional, like, wow, my baby, I wonder how the baby is. You're like so much concerned. But it's just a photo. Why you have to be concerned? Because you have affection. You have a possession. It's my baby. So when Krishna, we talk, this is how it is. Those symptoms that ignites our feeling, awaken our affection, it's called Vibhava. These are very important. We should know these details. So Krishna's age, particular, even Krishna came back from Dwarka, 125 years old. The last demon he killed was Dantabakra. Anyway, there's a whole story how Krishna re-entered into Vrindavan from Dwarka. When he re-entered, his form automatically changed. Well, it did not automatically change. The form was there in Vrindavan. Vrindavan Krishna was always in Vrindavan, but Vrindavan Krishna became visible. That's all. So he came, but when he came to Srimati Radharani, he was 16 years old. When he came to Madhumangal, Subal, he is 12, 13. When he came to Mother Jashoda, how old was he? Anybody would like to guess? You can be wrong, don't feel bad. Just say it.
Less than 5 years old.
5 years, not more. 5 years or less, not more. She is eternally. Even she was in that conversation. I was alone reading this, trying to understand the Sanskrit from this Sanatana Goswami's explanation. But even I was cracking up myself. So because she is massaging Krishna's thigh, Prabhupada translate fatty thigh. Krishna has a fatty thigh. Baby has a fatty thigh. That's how Krishna. Prabhupada translate. Literally, you can see in Nectar Devotion, Krishna has a fatty thigh. So Krishna, Mother Jashoda was massaging, and she's talking to her child, and she said, "Is it true? Like they think you are God in Dwarka? Is it true, Krishna?" And Krishna is stopped drinking and looking at her face. Did she figure it out? I am actually God. So it's like, and Mother Jashoda said, I don't think you are God. These people don't know. And Krishna smiled and went back to the breast milking, sucking breast milk. So this is how the relationship. Now, whether she understand or not, really God or not, does it matter? No, it doesn't matter because she is tasting the rasa. But she hears that he is God. She hears. It's not that she never heard it. Oh, she hears many times. Even Balaram tried to establish. Damodar Leela is coming end of this month. I think it's 29th. It's the first day of Kartik in my calendar, it says. The Damodar Brata is starting. So even in that in a whole episode, how Balaram was not there when Krishna was bound by Mother Jashoda. So when Balaram heard it, he immediately came. He said, who has done this to you? Now, Krishna is a Rashika. Rashika means he's expert relisher of transcendental mellow. What is Krishna's name? Rasharaj, Rashikraj. You will see some devotees' name, Rashikraj Das, Rasharaj Das. In Bombay, there used to be a scientist, Rasharaj Das, my old friend. I haven't contacted him for a while, but he was very nice. When I think those names, Rasharaj means expert relisher of transcendental melody. So Krishna is expert. All the boys are cheering up. Krishna, you knocked out this 2 tree. You are our hero. You are so strong. And Krishna is looking at all the boys. They are all crawling babies, like a little boys. And Krishna feeling, wow, they love me. I am their now leader. And they are all clapping. You did it. You did it. You knock out this big 2 tree. As soon Balaram came, Krishna changed his face. He's afraid. I'm so afraid. Oh, this 2 tree, I could have been killed. Like an expression. He's like a dramatic. And Balaram said, what happened? He said, Bhaiya, brother, I will be stuck here whole day. I won't be able to play with all them. And I don't know, I'm helpless. Help me. Balaram got angry. Who has done this to you? Madhamangal whispered in the ear, Maya. Because they are afraid Mother Jashoda should not hear all this episode, soap opera going on there amongst them. They are afraid of her, that if she hears all this talking about her, then Balaram ran to Mother Jashoda. Do you know who your son is? Just imagine, Balaram is giving a whole Bhagavatam class to Mother Jashoda. Let me tell you who your son is. He is the origin Swayam Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And I am also Bhagavan, but from him. And then he is giving the whole creation, how everything created from Krishna and everything. And Mother Jashoda, that day, no maid servant. Even though there is 100,000 maid servant, no maid servant because there was a Indra Jagna. That's why nobody was there when this episode took place. They all came after. So then Mother Jashoda saw the Narayan Puja room, the Thakur Ghar, the room that they do Narayan. They have a Narayan Shila. Is mess. Why? Krishna broke the pot. You all know Krishna broke the pot, and the buttermilk water. Do you know how it is soaked? You really have to clean it nicely. It is not like water. It's like a buttermilk sticky. So Mother Jashoda is trying to clean the deity room so she can do puja for Krishna. And Balaram is giving the Bhagavatam class to her. So everything emanates from him. He's the origin of all incarnation and going on and on and on. And I can destroy the whole creation if my brother tells me. Because he's the original. How could you bind him? Mother Jashoda turned back towards Balaram. You are God and he is God. You telling me? One more word, I will bind you like him. He runs away. Now tell me what happened to Bhagavatam discussion. He runs out of fear. Instead of protecting Krishna, he is also afraid of Mother Jashoda. So this is the topic, that Mother Jashoda hears all the opulence. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explained, like sometime if you boil the milk, well, I'm talking about Indian lady in India boiling milk, not in America. In India, I saw in the village, when they boil milk, they put some straw. I saw that. Because milk does not fell out of the pot. And they have a little stove kind of, those old days, still in the village, probably you can see. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, that straw that prevent from overboiling, few straws, is nothing to do with the milk, but it stops, but it is not visible. It goes under the milk. And once in a while it pops a little bit, but then again it goes. So he said the opulence aspect of Vrindavan is there full-fledged because Vrindavan has more opulence than Vaikuntha in Golok Vrindavan. But it is like those straw. It is not visible. Once in a while it pops, like Balaram is telling the truth. But it didn't work. Because Mother Yashoda said, one more word, you are God also? Okay, you see, I will bind you. So did it work? No, it didn't work. So it's not true. No, it is true. But her love, affection, and possession is my son. I have to take care of him. I have to discipline him. Taran, Barchan, Lalan, Palan, Poshan. These are the qualities she is holding. Supersede all the opulence knowledge. That's why this sweet aspect evoke affection eternally and is higher than opulence. Even Mahaprabhu revealed that it does not attract me, the opulence aspect. I love that sweet aspect of Brajavashis. So we have to look at from that. Now, how they relish, then you put those Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvik Bhava. So without delay, let us hear the next one. What is the next one? Is 27. Is Anubhava. Anubhava means what follows the stimulating factor. And who is presenting, Prabhu?
Sujata Mataji. Mother Sujata.
Okay. Mother.
Chapter 27.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can share my PPT?
Yes. Hold on. Okay.
You can see the PPT, Prabhuji?
No.
How do I go for that?
You have to go on the bottom, Mother.
Okay,
It says
share.
share
Okay.
screen.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah. Now we see.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay, Prabhuji, after such a long, detailed discussion on Rati and Bhava and all that, I think this is just so Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and all the devotees assembled here. And first I like to pay obeisance to Srila Prabhupada, who has given us this Krishna and his Krishna consciousness and all his books. So today I'll be just going through this chapter 27 in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And some things I've taken up from most of it is from the Nectar of Devotion and some points from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by His Holiness Bhagaswami. Okay, Prabhuji. So this is all about the Dakshina Vibhaga. We are doing that, which deals with rasa ingredients, and they are from chapters 20 to 34. So we have finished the varieties of bhakti, the rest Purva Bhaga is Eastern section, and now we have come to Dakshin Vibhaga. This is just a prelude, so that because we are going to the second way. So here, the second part of the sweet portion of rasa is called southern section. It describes the general rasas within the devotion to the Lord. So there are 5 waves here in this chapter. The first deals with a Vibhava, second with Anubhava, which we are going to do, I'm doing today. And the third with Sattvik Bhava, fourth is Vibhava, fifth. So these are the 5 waves. And here it describes how Rati, that is Bhava, and this is what is given in this verse, for the Lord, Sthai Bhava, which has been described previously, takes on the form of the highest rasa through nourishment. So this is what we're looking at. Nourishment by what? Nourishment by the ingredients of these made of Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvik Bhava things. Okay. So Rati for Krishna is called Sthai Bhava. It takes on a pleasure. And these have taken from the book reference to nature in the hearts of the devotees by these ingredients through activities such as hearing, and then becomes Bhakti Rasa. Okay. So one thing we have noticed, Rati means it has to be intense for Bhakti Rasa to appear. That means it has to be empowered by these ingredients. And when we say it's within the devotion of the Lord, that means it's in the path of realization, meaning that Vibhava are dependent only on spiritual realization. It's not like a material rasa. So what do you mean by Rati? Which is given in these verses is the very form of Ananda that appears in the hearts of devotees. because this can come only when they are purified by all faults of bhakti. That is the starting of that is by sadhana, they come to the awakening of bhava. So whose hearts have become joyful, that is by the Hiladini, and bright by Samgit. This is what Prabhuji gave a big, in the beginning, he has talked about this. I think we have heard quite a detailed description by the Prabhuji, who have developed great relish for the Bhagavatam and for the association of them, who have taste for Krishna, and whose life and soul becomes the profound happiness of devotion at the feet of the Golok. So you have become absorbed in actions such as kirtan. So this rati is strengthened by the past and present life impressions of bhakti. Then he attains a state of relish by realizing these ingredients in relation to Krishna, and finally attains the highest astonished peak of profound. That is when the whole thing is mixed up, then you come to become the rasa. So this is what we mean, and so this is what the ingredients of the rasa is. That is Vibhava, which we did from the last 3 days. And it is covered in the chapters 20 to 26, where Prabhupada says these are the causes for ecstasy. That is, it stimulates one's internal affection for Krishna, heightening to the point of relishing intensity. So these are the things which will be, and the chapter 26, which Mataji gave, it was all about Krishna's Rasa Leela and his jewels, and so detailed thing, which will stimulate our eternal affection. And this eternal affection for Krishna is the basic thing for Krishna. And finally, these are the things, Vishaya, which will heighten our relishing intensity. That's what we did. And today, now we are going to see the Anubhava. That is what follows after that. Anu means follow. That results from this heightened affection. And Prabhupada writes it as subsequent ecstasy. And other things which we are going to do consequently is the Sattvik Bhava, Bhava, that is in chapter 28 and 29, that is these the things which we are going to see in the next week are the following sections. So we are in this Anubhava. So what is mean the symptoms of ecstatic love? So Anubhava refers to those things which express bhava situated within the heart. So this is when you are reached to that ecstasy, and how do you express it? And these are predominantly external transformations and are thus called Udbhava, shining parts of the body. Okay. And these symptoms, there are 2 categories known as Sita yawning, that is meaning with lack of bodily movement, and the other one is Shepana, dancing, that is there will be lot of with the bodily movements. So here comes under this is singing, yawning, breathing heavily, disregarding about others' opinions, then drooling and roaring with laughter. Whereas Shepana is dancing and rolling on the ground, shouting. Thanu means stretching the body, bellowing. So these are the things given, the symptoms which you find when you express the bhava, when you come to this ecstasy. So dancing, rolling, and that, I'm going as per the in the Nectar of Devotion, which Prabhupada has given in this order. And then Rupa Goswami gives the references from how to talk about that. So for dancing, while watching the Rasa dance performed by Lord Krishna and the gopis, Lord Shiva beheld the beautiful face of Krishna and immediately began to dance. So this is what happens when they see the Rasa dancer perform Krishna and gopis. One gets really attracted to it, and they start to dance and beat upon a small dindina drum. Seeing Lord Shiva dancing in ecstasy, even his son Ganesha joined. So this is one of the symptoms of ecstatic love, dancing. Rolling on the ground. This was given an reference from the Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 1st chapter, 31st verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, where Vidura inquires Uddhava, because he refers to Akura. My dear friend, is Akura in an auspicious condition? He is not only a learned scholar and sinless, but is also a devotee of Lord Krishna. And he has such ecstatic love for Krishna that I have seen him rolling upon Krishna's footprints in the dust as if bereft. That is when Akura came to Vrindavan to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So then when he enters there, he sees the Krishna's footprints, and seeing that, he starts rolling with ecstasy because he's a very pure devotee. Similarly, one gopi gave a message to Krishna that Radharani, because of her separation from him, because of her enchantment with the flavor of the flower garlands, was rolling on the ground, thereby bruising her. So this is the ecstasy. When anything which they see about the Lord's Krishna's footprints or Krishna's flower gardens, they immediately, just like when a mother, when she sees something about her baby, her child, or see the face or anything in relations, see immediately she goes, tries to embrace him or embrace thing. I mean, she goes into that mood. So this is how the thing, rolling on the, for singing loudly. One gopi informed Krishna that when Srimati Radharani was singing into the glory, she enchanted all her friends in such a way that they became stone-like and dull. At the same time, the nearby stones began to melt. So, singing loudly is the Radharani's thing, but it made her friends in such a way they became stone-like. So, these were the references for show us how symptoms of ecstasy. And in this verse, I wanted to bring out this purport where Prabhupada writes that when Akrura came to Vrindavan in search of Krishna, he saw the footprints of the Lord on the dust of Nandagram. At once fell on them in ecstasy. This ecstasy is possible for a devotee who is fully absorbed in the insensate thoughts of Krishna. Such a pure devotee of the Lord is naturally faultless because he is always associated with the supreme pure personality of God. Constant thought of the Lord is the antiseptic method for keeping oneself free from the infectious contamination of the material quantities. And here I like to, Prabhupada says, the pure devotee of the Lord is always in company with the Lord by thinking of him, yet in the particular context of time and place. That is when he went and saw the footprints of the thing. The transcendental emotions take a different turn. And this breaks the mental equilibrium of the devotee. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed the typical example of transcendental ecstasy, as we can understand from the life of the Indian. So this is how the symptoms which we have mentioned here, this is where Prabhupada says that transcendental emotions takes a different turn and breaks the mental equilibrium of the devotee. So this is what we are looking at, the different type of symptoms. Stretching the body, here Rupa Goswami gives the example of Narada Muni. When there was a stretching of the body of Narada Muni from chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, he chanted so loudly that it was apprehended that Lord Narasimha Dev appeared. The minute the Narasimha appeared, all the demons began to flee in different directions. So, and it was also said that sometimes when Narada Muni, the carrier of Veena, remembers his Lord Krishna in great ecstasy, he begins to stretch his body so vigorously that his thread is away. So this is another symptom. Crying loudly. A gopi once said to Krishna, "My dear son of Nanda Maharaj, by the sound of your flute, Srimati Radharani has become full of lamentation and fear. Thus, with a faltering voice, she is crying like a Kurobi bird." So because of this separation, it is described that, and this also we can see with the Mother Yashoda, all the time she will be worried about the baby. It is described that by hearing the vibration of Krishna's flute, Lord Shiva becomes very puzzled and begins to cry so loudly into space that the demons became vanquished and the devotees became overwhelmed with joy. So this is another symptom of ecstatic love. And this I didn't understand. Is yawning. It is said that when the full moon rises, the lotus petals become expanded. Similarly, when Krishna is to appear before Radharani, her face is to bloom like the lotus flower, which is compared with the lotus, which expand by a yawning. Breathing heavily is, as far as breathing heavily is concerned, it is stated that Rupa Goswami gives this example of Lalita, is one of the gopis. She's just like a chataki bird. It will take only water which is coming from directly from the rain cloud and not from any other source. So here Krishna is compared to the dark cloud and Lalita is compared to Chataki bird, is seeking only Krishna's company. But what it says like, metaphor continues to say, as a heavy wind sometimes disperses a mighty cloud, so the heavy breath from Lalita's nostril caused her to miss Krishna because the cloud disappeared, who had disappeared by the time she recovered herself. So this is neglecting the presence of others. This we have been hearing this example about the wives of the Brahmanas. When they heard Krishna was there, so they leave they take all the food and they go running to give it to the Krishna. They neglect their husbands. So it says here, as far as neglecting the presence of others is concerned, the wives of Brahmanas who were performing sacrifice at Vrindavana left home as soon as they heard that Krishna was nearby. They left their homes without caring for their learned husbands. The husbands began to discuss this amongst themselves. How wonderful is the attraction for Krishna that it has made these women leave us without any care. So then when their devotees are in ecstatic love, they are only thinking of the Krishna. This is the influence of Krishna. Anyone who becomes attracted to Krishna can be relieved from the bondage of birth and death, which can be compared to the locked up homes that were neglected by the wives of the Brahmanas. I think in the Padyavali, there is a statement by some devotees, we shall not care for any outsiders if they should deride us. We shall still not care for them. We shall simply enjoy the transcendental mellow of chanting Hare Krishna. And thus we shall roll on the ground and dance excessively. In this way, we shall eternally enjoy transcendental bliss. I think in this time, I was just thinking about the devotees of Prabhupada in the beginning. Initially, they were all doing the kirtan inside the house. And one day they asked Prabhupada, can we go down outside to the street and do it? And Prabhupada said, yes, Mahaprabhu used to do that. So this is how they don't bother what's happening. Then they just went around things. So that reminded me of that incident. So neglecting the presence of others, that means they are only thinking of the Krishna. And then the other symptoms like drooling, laughing like a madman, wheeling of the head. This is an example when running down of saliva from the mouth. It is stated that sometimes when Nardamuni was chanting Hare Krishna mantra, remained stunned for a while and saliva oozed from his mouth. That doesn't know how it happens because they are so chanting on the thing. He was so engrossed in that. So when a devotee laughs loudly like a madman, it is done out of an extraordinary agitation of ecstatic love within his heart. Such mad loving is an expression of the condition of the heart, which is technically called atahasa. When he becomes affected with this mental condition, his love is expressed to his lips. The laughing sounds coming one after another are compared to flowers falling from the creeper of devotion, which grows within the heart of the devotee. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, devotional service to Lord is also compared to a creeper which rises up to the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. Wheeling of the head is something like one gopi told a friend. It appears that Lord Krishna, the enemy of Dem and Naga, has released from his mouth a whirlwind wind which is acting on your head and is gradually proceeding to the same to the other lotus-eyed gopis. So these are the thing, and some more. The last, belching. Sometimes belching also becomes a symptom of ecstatic love for Krishna. So there is a evidence in the scripture. Paurnamasi addressed one crying associate of Radharani. My dear daughter, don't be worried because Srimati Radharani is belching. Belching means hiccuping. I am about to offer a remedial measure for this symptom. Do not cry so loudly. The belching is not due to indigestion. It's a sign of excessive love for Krishna. I shall arrange to cure this symptom immediately. Don't be worried. So this statement of Purnamasi is evidence that excessive love for Krishna is sometimes manifested through belching. So with that, these are the symptoms which has been given when Rupa Goswami has mentioned about for the Anubhava. So with this, Anchakalpadrapyascha kripa sindhuevacha patitam naupamyapyo vaishnavyo namo Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone has any question to Mataji?
Yes, I rarely have any of these or any of these except yawning during chanting because out of laziness. So, do you think it's possible to go back home, back to Godhead in this very birth itself?
Mataji, you are the host.
Is that by these symptoms can we go back to Godhead? But these are the symptoms, so that means you have reached the Bhava stage. So, but
what I'm saying is, I don't have any of these symptoms at all.
Okay, okay.
Except I yawn whenever I chant out of laziness. So
Yawning is not like
because when you're saying about this, I'm some kind of scary because
yeah, yawning here is like, how Radharani was so, it's like the lotus, when it sees the sun, it blooms like that. That means her face becomes so bright and thing. But our yawning in the material sense is like you're sleeping. So there's a lot of difference between this and that, Prabhuji.
Thank you for hammering that.
Yeah.
The inertia, ignorance, yearning is different than bhava yearning.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for good. Okay, you have more question from Mother Sushma.
Yes, Mother.
Hare Krishna Mataji, very nice presentation.
Krishna.
Quick question, kind of follow up to what Prabhuji was mentioning. So, when we are in this class and going through all the beautiful pastimes and explanation, I feel like I'm in that rasa, or I feel the bhava or all the expressions also. And sometimes outside also we get when chanting or hearing Krishna Katha. But then sometimes I fall down. So does that mean, it's always good to be consistent? Then only it's guaranteed, right? Is my understanding correct that it should be consistent to go back?
Yes, Mataji, because you're going to see the other ingredients when you're going to go through other thing. There it says it has to be continuous. So our sadhana will be, unless you're continuous, then only you'll be in this emotion. Otherwise you won't, isn't it? So once you reach there, you should have been, when you come to that Bhava stage, you would have come over the many of the impurities. So you would have come out of that. So you'll be in the Ashmasari. So it has to be a continuous. But Vibhava, when we looked at Sthayi Bhava, that means you have to be continuous. Basic thing is required. That attachment to the Lord, basic thing is required when you are reaching this Bhava stage, when it starts this. So it has to be continuous. It cannot be going up and down. But you are starting in this, so we will fall down. But still, if you keep continuing doing our sadhana, if you keep at it, you slowly will come over that. That's what I have understood. Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes, very good. No, I'm very impressed. You gave very good answer. It's a two difference level. When I'm still under the influence of three modes, I'm practicing, but still influence. Means the bhava did not awaken yet. But we have to continue. There is no third option. Either we continue or we'll never. It's not like, oh, I hope it will happen. No, it's not a hope. It's a real practical scientific. You can experience. So cultivation has to be there, always sadhana. What am I thinking? Am I thinking towards Krishna consciousness or somewhere else? Something else? Yes, this is very good answer. Cultivation has to be there. Thank you. Any other discussion? I think Mataji did a very wonderful presentation. So thank you, Mother Sujata Devi.
Prabhuji for this.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. We have one more, Prabhu.
Yes, my Prabhu. Next will be Sitapati Prabhu. So he'll be presenting on text 28.
Okay. Do you need access, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Okay. Okay, you have access. Mother Sujata, if possible, you please share the PPT for the audience. I think you did a very nice.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do that. I'll share it too.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, dear all assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. So today, I'm going to speak a little bit about this chapter 28, Existential Ecstatic Love. But before I begin, I beg all of you for your blessings so that I can speak something. So let's begin with this chapter. Existential ecstatic love. This term, this phrase, existential ecstatic love, it is well illustrated by Srila Rupa Goswami. Here, Rupa Goswami says, when a devotee is always intensely affected by love for Krishna in a direct relationship with him or even a little apart from him, such state of love is called existential ecstatic love. Now, if we look at this definition very carefully, three words, or we can say the 4 words I have highlighted over here. One is the always. Always, it refers to the timing. Always means all the time. It refers to timing, which relates to existential, which relates to the word existential. Now, the second term, intensely affected. Intensely affected, it relates to the term ecstatic, and the love relates to the love. So, with the help of these terms, always intensely affected by love,
We cannot hear you.
Thing is froze.
Sitapati Prabhu, are you okay?
His internet is down.
No, he is giving with his hand. He's bestowing his mercy. Oh no.
He's frozen, Prabhu.
You want to send him a chat message? Is he okay? Oh no, he disappeared. Yeah, that's what
he has
happened.
to come back.
Okay. Do you have his WhatsApp number? I hope he's okay.
No, I think. Yes, I have.
So what ingredients is he speaking? Anybody remembers? We have 5, not 5 ingredients, 4 ingredients and primary base. Like for an example, if you want to make rice, you need fire. Well, first you need rice. You want to cook rice, you need first rice. Then you need a pot. You need a fire. And you need water. Rice has nothing to do with water in one sense, but if you don't have a water and you put the rice, raw rice in the fire, what happens? It's not eatable. Turn into ashes. It burns. So water is important. But if you don't have if you have only water and the rice, the fire will be extinguished. So fire has to connect to the pot, heats up the water, then the rice is cooked. And if you break the system, it will not produce the rice, eatable rice. So similarly, this taiba, Vibhava, Anubhava, Sattvik Bhava, Bevichari Bhava, this all together has a proportion how it produces a rasa. If you meditate on this, it's a very beautiful meditation. Then you can find all the pastimes of Krishna, why it is happening. It's just for the pleasure. Siddhapati Prabhu came back or no? No?
No, Prabhu. In fact, I sent him a message, and the message is not going through.
Where is he from?
Pune.
Oh, from Pune. Oh,
okay, now it went through.
They have a good electricity. I mean, I hope so. Oh, here he is. He's back.
Okay.
So I hope we should meditate on this. What is Vibhava? What is Anubhava? As we are discussing Sthayi Bhava, which will be the fifth item. Sthayi Bhava, yes, Sthayi Bhava in one sense, it is a roti, you can say. But it is more than roti. Because you developing an attraction to Krishna, but then when that attraction becomes you identify with that attraction through your sneha and mamata, possession and affection. Then you identify you as in relation to Krishna. That becomes Sthayi Bhava. So it's little more than attraction. Is that clear, everybody? Initially, it becomes attraction. But attraction brings you to identify yourself as your existent identity. I can't live without my friend. I can't live without my son. When you identify like this, that becomes Sthayi Bhava. But it began with initial attraction. Sitapati Prabhu, I was trying to fill up the gap between you going in and out. You can continue.
Prabhu, I suggest that I think if his internet is slow, so we all can off our camera so to save the bandwidth. Is your
Sitapati
internet
Prabhu,
okay?
you can do that. You can, I don't know if that, it depends. I guess if you take
Your internet
the...
okay, Prabhu? Yeah.
My bandwidth is okay, Prabhu.
Okay.
All right. Okay. No problem.
Yes, so we were talking about the symptoms of existential ecstatic love. As I mentioned, there are total 8 symptoms of existential ecstatic love, which have been clubbed together under 3 headings. First one is moist existential ecstatic love. Second one is burnt existential ecstatic love. And the third one is dried up existential ecstatic love. As far as the first one, moist existential ecstatic love is concerned, this symptom has been further classified into 2 categories or 2 types: the direct moist existential ecstatic love and the indirect moist existential ecstatic love. Now here we have to understand some important details, little bit details about all of these symptoms. So let's begin with the very first one, that is the direct moist existential ecstatic love. So the direct moist existential ecstatic love, it can be understood with the help of an example of Srimati Radharani. Once, Srimati Radharani was weaving a garland of kunda flowers, and upon hearing the vibrations of Krishna's flute, she immediately stopped her work. So this is the ecstatic love of Srimati Radharani for Lord Krishna, which made her stop her work, like what she was doing, weaving a garland of kunda flowers. But the moment she heard the vibrations of Krishna's flute, she immediately stopped her work. And this is the best example of direct moist existential ecstatic love. Now let's move on to the next one, the indirect moist existential ecstatic love. And in this regard, there is one more example about Krishna and Yashoda Maiya. When Krishna had been brought to Mathura, Mother Yashoda, being very anxious and angry, began to rebuke the king of Mathura. So here, Yashoda Maiya was so much attached out of ecstatic love to Krishna that she started rebuking the king Kansa for asking Akrura to take Krishna to Mathura. So this is an example of indirect moist and existential ecstatic love. Now the next one, burnt existential ecstatic love. This can be understood with the help of an example of Mother Yashoda. One day Mother Yashoda was dreaming that the gigantic demon Putana was lying on the courtyard of her house, and she immediately became anxious to seek out Krishna. So though she was dreaming of that demon Putana, she rapidly went to Krishna. She approached Krishna out of her ecstatic love. And what kind of ecstatic love it is? It is the burnt existential ecstatic love, which made her approach Krishna immediately, rapidly, instantly. Now the next one is dried up existential ecstatic love. This type of existential ecstatic love, it particularly refers to the non-devotees or the materialistic people. So when there are manifestations of ecstatic symptoms in the body of a non-devotee, these are called the dried up symptoms of ecstatic love. Now here, Rupa Goswami mentioned what this dried up existential ecstatic love is. Here I have highlighted few words in green. It states ecstatic symptoms in the body of a non-devotee. Non-devotee or a material person has nothing to do with Krishna. He doesn't bother about Krishna. Who is Krishna? Where does he live? What does he do? He has nothing to do with Krishna. And such kind of person, such kind of non-devotee, materialistic person, how can he show the symptoms of ecstatic love? This is to be understood over here. So here, Rupa Goswami says that even the materialistic non-devotee also can show the existential ecstatic love for Krishna. But how is it possible if he has nothing to do with Krishna? So these symptoms appear just by the mercy of a pure devotee. So Rupa Goswami says when a non-devotee, though he is a materialistic person, when he comes in contact with a pure devotee, it tends to manifest some symptoms of ecstasy. And such symptoms of ecstasy manifested in the body of a non-devotee, they are called dried up existential ecstatic love. These are the symptoms of dried up existential ecstatic love. So far we have studied the headings under which the symptoms of existential ecstatic love, they are clubbed together. Now here we have to understand what are those symptoms, what are those actual symptoms of the existential ecstatic love. So there are 8 symptoms of existential ecstatic love. The first one is becoming stunned, second one perspiring, third one standing up of the hairs on the body, fourth faltering of the voice, fifth trembling of the body, sixth changing of bodily colors, and seventh shedding of tears, and the last one devastation. Now here we have to understand little bit learnings from each of these symptoms. Let's go with the first one. So Srila Rupa Goswami he has explained very scientifically about each of these 8 symptoms. The first one is becoming stunned. You know that becoming stunned means to remain, to get shocked, or so here the symptom of being stunned is caused by ecstatic tribulation, fearfulness, astonishment, lamentation, and anger. So whenever one comes across these feelings like ecstatic tribulation, fearfulness, astonishment, lamentation, and anger, one remains stunned. And this phase or the state of becoming stunned, it can be expressed or exhibited by some actions like a stoppage of talking. One remains speechless when he becomes stunned. Another thing is like a stoppage of movement. He stops making any movement. He remains steady. Then a feeling of voidness. He starts feeling loneliness. Then an extreme feeling of separation. So these are the actions with which this symptom it is expressed or exhibited. And in this regard, one example is there, which is stated over here. When Uddhava was describing Krishna's pastimes to Vidura, he said, one day the gopis became stunned when Krishna, in the dress of a gardening maid, entered the greenhouse and enlivened them with joking and laughter. So here the gopis became stunned. Why is that so? Because gopi never expected that Krishna will wear the dress of a gardening maid and appear before them. But it happened. So they became stunned. Now the next example, another example of being stunned took place when Krishna was surrounded by various wrestlers in the sacrificial arena of Kamsa. And this time, his mother, Krishna's mother, Devaki, she became stunned. Now, why Devaki became stunned over here? Out of her love for Krishna. But I mean, she was caring for Krishna. She was so much attached to Krishna that she started thinking how my tender, young, soft, young son, how can he be there among the wrestlers? The wrestlers, they have very strong and stout body. They are very powerful. What my little son will do among these wrestlers? So that's why, out of such care and love, she became stunned, and her eyes dried up when she saw Krishna among the wrestlers. Now the next one, perspiring or the perspiration. The details of this symptom, they are well explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. In this regard, one example is there, which is related to gopis, Radharani actually. Once Radharani, she started rebuking the sunshine. It was scorching sunshine, and she started rebuking the sunshine. And it was observed, it was noted by gopis. And one of the gopi addressed Radharani that she said, my dear Radharani, you are rebuking the sunshine unnecessarily, but I can understand that you are perspiring only because of your becoming too lusty at seeing Krishna. It means here, the moment Radharani got the sight of Krishna, her body started perspiring. She was so attached to Krishna that at the sight of Krishna, her body started perspiring. And this perspiration also does happen due to fearfulness and anger. Now the third symptom, standing up of hairs on the body. So a very famous example in this regard, that this example is regarding Yashoda Maya and Krishna. So we know this very well that Lord Krishna, along with Balaram and many other cowherd boys, they were playing together. And while playing, Krishna put some dirt or the dust from the ground into his mouth. It was observed by Balarama, and immediately Balarama approaches Mother Yashoda and narrates the thing happening on the ground with Krishna to Yashoda Maya. Yashoda Maya becomes worried, and she started approaching Krishna. She comes to Krishna and she asked Krishna to open his mouth wide just to see whether he had eaten dirt. But the moment Krishna opened his mouth, she saw not only the entire earth, but also many other planets within his mouth. This caused a standing up of the hair on her body. Similarly, one more example is there related to regarding Arjuna and Krishna. When Arjuna saw Krishna in his gigantic universal form on the battlefield of Holy Kurukshetra, there was a standing of hairs on his body. Now the next symptom, faltering of the voice. Faltering of voice. When Krishna was going to Mathura on the chariot driven by Akrura, Yashoda and all the gopis came to try to forbid him to pass and to block his way. At that time, Radharani was so perturbed that in a faltering voice, she requested Mother Yashoda to please stop Akrura. So it was Radharani who, out of her love for Krishna, she became upset. She became too much upset knowing that Akrura is taking Krishna to Mathura. And she became so upset that her voice became faltered, and in a faltering voice she requested her Mother Yashoda to please stop Akrura. The next symptom is trembling of the body. When Krishna was trying to capture the demon Shankha, Radharani began trembling out of fearfulness. Radharani was a little bit fearful that demon Shankha might create some harm to Krishna. So out of fearfulness, Radharani began trembling. Similarly, one more example is there. Trembling of the body was exhibited in Sahadeva, the younger brother of Nakula. When Shishupala was vehemently blaspheming the Lord, Sahadeva began to tremble out of anger. Now the next one is changing of bodily colors. When Krishna and Balaram were present in the arena of Krishna, in the arena of Kamsa, Kamsa's body changed color. So here the Kamsa's body changed color out of fear. Kamsa was worried about his well-being. Actually, he was thinking that he was sure that Krishna will definitely defeat the wrestlers, defeat Kamsa's wrestlers, and ultimately he will approach Kamsa to kill him. That's why he was worried, and this sense of worriedness changed the color of the body color of Kamsa. Similarly, the same thing happened in case of Indra also. Indra never expected that this sweet little boy can lift a huge Govardhan hill on his finger. But when but it happened. That's why Indra's face changed color when he saw that Krishna was protecting all the denizens of Raja by lifting Govardhan hill. If the color change takes place due to excessive jubilation, the hue turns red. Now the next one is shedding of tears. The next symptom is shedding of tears. Shedding of tears means the pouring down of tears from the eyes, and there may be the pouring down of tears from the eyes out of jubilation, anger, or separation. When such tears are very cold, they are due to jubilation, and when they are due to anger, the tears become hot. An example of shedding tears because of anger was exhibited by Bhima when he saw that Shishupal was insulting Krishna in the Rajashu arena of sacrifice. Bhima observed that Shishupala was insulting Krishna, and Bhima wanted to kill Shishupala immediately, but Krishna did not allow Bhima to kill Shishupala. Krishna didn't allow Bhima to do so. And Krishna did not order him to do so. And he became morose with anger. And here it is described that there were hot tears covering his eyes, as if a thin cloud sometimes covers the evening moon. And in the evening moon, when the moon is slightly covered by a thin cloud, it looks very nice. Similarly, when Bhima was shedding tears on account of his anger, he also looked very nice. And now the last symptom, devastation, or we can say pralaya. So when a person is confused by simultaneous happiness and tribulation, and does not know what to do, this state of confusion is called pralaya or devastation. And in this condition of pralaya, one sometimes falls down on the ground and all the symptoms of ecstatic love become manifest. In this regard, one example is here. When the gopis were searching after Krishna and all of a sudden, the Krishna came out from the bushes and creepers. All of them became stunned and almost senseless. In this state, the gopis appeared very beautiful. This is an example of pralaya or devastation in happiness. So here we can understand that when happiness reaches at its top, it can lead to the devastation in happiness. That's all from my end. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhu. So you did it very concisely and precisely. I thought because Sattvik Bhava has a lot of details. And I like the way you presented three types. Snigdha, you put it in a moist and then burnt and dried up. Because the Sanskrit word has a very different meaning, deep meaning on it. So I see Prabhupada put it in that, it's nice. And then of course, the Snigdha also you gave a very nice explanation on both sides, the primary one and the secondary one with the example. And that's very nice. And your wonderful example on this 8 Sattvik Bhava or Sattvik Bhava, these are very relatable. I hope we can memorize these 8 symptoms. And if question rises that when, okay, maybe it's in the next chapter. Is there any difference, Prabhu, between Anubhava and Sattvik Bhava? Seems like almost activities has some similarity. Is there any difference?
Not able to answer, Prabhuji. I don't have.
Not able to answer.
That's true.
And you have given also the different category of intensity. Is not in this chapter. There is a intensity has a category. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya in chapter 6 Madhyalila, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, when Mahaprabhu fainted in Jagannath temple, he was fully aware. He is not a devotee. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not a devotee. He was a Mayavadi guru at that time. But he was fully aware of the symptom. And even when he told, because he is a, how do you say, Sabha Pandit in the king's court, he is a very respectable, you can say head of the Pandit. So they obey, the Pujari, they obey his order. He stopped them from beating. They were ready to like throw Mahaprabhu out. I mean, Jagannath himself came as Lord Chaitanya. Of course, due to the ignorance of that, but Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, what strike me that Prabhupada says Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very aware of those symptoms, even though he's Mayavadi Guru. So what was the missing point? Another question may say, well, he's a Mayavadi Guru. Then why is he recognized, but he is missing? He didn't become devotee. What is the missing point? You understand my question, Prabhu? There is a difference between Anubhava and Sattvik Bhava. So let me ask you this question. When Arjuna was face to face, seeing the Lord's universal form right in front of him, it is not a TV show. I hope everybody understands. Universal form, Vishwarup Darshan that Arjuna had, it is not a television show. that you sit down in your living room watching the TV. Okay, Arjuna saw like that. No, it's not like that. It is live in front of him. There is nobody else but him and the whole creation in front of him. It was not a TV show or some movie or something. It was a live person. Krishna was conversing. All these persons are active. It was not some show that they are inactive, only Krishna is speaking. No, no. All the person, universal, unlimited universal, they are all active. Individually, they are all active. So the difference between Anubhava and Sattvik Bhava. So Arjuna is seeing it. So my question to you. Arjuna paid obeisances. Which way? To the universal form. I'm sure you all read 11th chapter. It's one of the fascinating chapter. He was paying obeisances left, right, front, back, because Krishna is everywhere. Universal front. He's going this side, he's overwhelmed. My God, who should I pay obeisances? Krishna is everywhere. So he's paying obeisances left, right, left, or, east, west, north, south. He's going all direction. He still could not pay obeisances to everywhere because he's in everywhere. Did he try to pay obeisances or it was happening automatically?
May I, Prabhuji?
Let me ask Sitapati Prabhu and then I'll go to you. Yes, Mother. Did Arjuna try to pay obeisances each direction or it was happening automatically with him?
I think it was happening automatically, involuntarily.
Involuntary, correct.
No. No.
Just
consciously he was trying to pay obeisances. He was aware this is Krishna's universal form. He has a friendship. It was disturbed. See, friendship, two-handed form, and Arjuna, there is a mental to connect with that form was there. But universal form, awe and reverence, and Krishna as a, Arjuna as a friend, there was not a mental connection was given to him. Corresponding mental state has to be connected. Like Mother Yashoda, as you gave example, Mother Yashoda saw the universal form, or you can say so many universes in his mouth. Corresponding mind was not given to Mother Yashoda, that it's okay, everything is there within him. What is that verse Mahaprabhu quoted? Krishna, Bhagavan, Krishna ek, Krishna Shwarya Sarva Vishwara Visram. First line, I forgot the word. The second line goes, Krishna Shwarya Sarva Vishwara Visram. Everything exists within Krishna's body. Prabhu, I may be millionaire, but if you cut my body into pieces, you will not get a penny out of my body. Because the $1 million and my body, I'm a millionaire, but $1 million is not within me. It's in the bank. I have to go to the bank to show you that I'm millionaire. But Krishna, possessor of all opulence, not that he has a possession. He is the possession. Rukmini Devi in her dialogue, she established that point and Krishna was laughing. Krishna says, I was born in a village, you could have married better husband. And Rukmini got so scared out of fear, she fainted. But when she came out of it, she smashes every point Krishna gave. It's a beautiful dialogue if you really meditate. And one of the question answer was, Krishna says, well, maybe I have some wealth, as Bhagavan somewhere, but you can find many prince or king has also. So she differentiate between the king and him. He said, everything is you means within you. This body has everything. The universe is simultaneously outside, but it is also inside. You are familiar with that first canto, 8th chapter, Mother Kunti Devi's prayers. Alaksham sarva bhutanam antarbahir avastitam. Antarbahir. You are inside the universe. You are outside the universe. Everything is within you. You are also outside. It's bewildering. Mother Kunti knows the philosophy very well. And she is facing face to face, telling to Krishna. I wonder what Krishna was thinking. You can ask him when you meet him. I would ask him, like, how do you, I will never probably understand because he is. But still, our intelligence, think okay, he is inside the universe, he's outside the universe. He is inside Mother Kunti's heart, and he's also outside. How is this whole thing? Probably I'll never get it anyway, but at least still curious. So let's go back here. Arjuna, his hair was standing up. He was trembling. Was he trying to do, or it was automatic? Sitapati Prabhu first, before other answer.
It was automatic.
This is perfect answer. Yes, that is called Sattvik Bhava. This chapter, that automatically happened. Arjuna was not trying to make the hair stand, trembling, like, oh my God, I did a mistake. I used to call you as a friend. But friend means a friend in need is a friend indeed. You don't need anything. I'm nobody. Nobody need. You don't need anybody or any help from anyone. You are everything. Everybody needs you, but you don't need anybody. So please forgive me, I called you as a friend. He was apologizing, This consciously, this is Anubhava, you can say. Anubhava means intelligence is applied. Sattvik Bhava means heart, when the heart of Arjuna became saturated with Sattva Bhava or pure emotion related to Krishna as a friend, now as a universal master or Bhagavan. What happened within him? This chapter explains. It submit itself to the life air, prana. That time, prana carries Arjuna all over within his body. So what happened? When the prana being excited, it transformed and causes the appearance of, you can say, profuse agitation in the body. That time, like you all know the story of what is it? Bakasura, the crane demon. So Krishna was stuck where? In the throat. No, not like right here on the throat. Bakasura tried to swallow, but Krishna didn't go. Krishna stayed there. And Krishna is watching outside and inside. Even Balaram was there. But they were stunned. They could not move. Stamba, what do you call stunned? They couldn't move. Why did Krishna do it? Krishna actually is the behind whole thing. Krishna is trying to show that how he is the real hero to influence the boys and including Balaram, that I can go to play in a bigger forest without disturbance. Don't worry, I can lead you. I will. But he's not God to them. He's just a best friend. They cannot live without. So Krishna's trying to make his, what do you call, gang leader? Gang leader? I don't know. Maybe none of you have it. The leader of the gang. Even Balaram could not help. He wants to help, but his body became like stunned. He could not move. He wants to protect Krishna. He wants all things fail.
Everybody failed. Then Bakasur fell like a fire instead of Krishna. Is Krishna fire, Mother Sujata Devi? Is Krishna is a fire elements or his substance of rasam, taste, love? Don't be scared. It's not a something frightening question. But Bakasura felt like a fire because of his anartha. He was a demon. Oho Bakiyan Stanakalakutam. Bhagavatam say Bakiyan to Putana, that you are brother of Bakasura. Bakasura is a big demon, very big demon, elder brother of Putana. But his anartha felt fire, Krishna. But Krishna is eternally actually rasam, most tasty. Krishna doesn't have a bones, muscle, or anything. His body is made of ecstasy. Rasgulla, not rasgulla. Rasgulla is also mundane. But it is ecstasy. I don't know how you explain ecstasy. But it is what made of. But our anartha cannot perceive that ecstasy right now. So let's go back and I will finish with it. So Krishna was paying obeisances. Krishna was trembling. Krishna was faltering voice. He's confessing. Let's break it down one by one. He got frightened. What is it? Oh, it is actually end of this book. That Bhishma is stunning. That out of fear, that's will come to the secondary emotion, end of this book. But let's talk about Sattvik Bhava. Which one is Sattvik Bhava? He was paying obeisances? No. That was require his conscious choice. He bowed down. Yes, everywhere he was almost like could not complete because everywhere is Krishna. Everything is Krishna. Pantheism. Pantheism means everything is God. Bhavanam janmanamante gyanavan mam prabodhante vasudeva sarvamiti. You can say there's pantheism. What is in the purport Prabhupada writes, Sahasra Shishya Purusha, Sahasraksha, Sahasrapat. Everywhere his hands, legs, everything. Wow, nothing else exists. That's pantheism. But if you look at the verse, did not say you pay obeisances to everyone. Vasudeva Sarvamiti, yes. Sarvata Shiro Mukham. In Bhagavad Gita also there is another verse that everywhere his eyes, legs, feet, everything. But the verse says, Bhavanam Janmanam Ante, when you really understand this, Gyanavan, you are now title called Gyanavan. You understood, realize. What does that mean? Mam Prapadante. You surrender. You don't surrender to everything. You surrender to Krishna. Even though Krishna is everything, in one sense, pantheism, but you don't surrender to everything and everyone. You surrender to Krishna. 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga. Krishna is the shark amongst the aquatic. But you don't surrender to the shark. You surrender to Krishna. That is called Gyanavan. That's why they are rare. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlava. Sudurlava means very rare. Why they are rare? Because they do not surrender to everything, even though they know everything is coming from him. So they surrender to Krishna. This is Anubhava that Arjuna was experiencing. What is Sattvik Bhava? That Romancha Kampa. His hair was standing, he's trembling. That was he was not trying to do. In our Kirtan, you better be aware so you can see that some symptom is happening even at this stage in our life. When devotees were singing in Gujarat, and it came in the newspaper, and one Gauri or Sannasi, I won't say details about, but said that why the newspaper said they have a bhava. So they brought the case to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, in the newspaper, it says that the devotees are singing, dancing, and they're like going little ecstasy. So the newspaper, now I don't know whether the person who wrote the news in the column on the newspaper, whether he's a Vaishnava or not, I don't know. But Prabhupada said, so what is the comment? Comment is that somebody says from Gauriya Sannyasi that this is not symptom of bhava. Prabhupada said, why not? Their Western body, Josomati Nandan Prabhu was there, who passed away. He was a Gujarati engineer, joined from here, a disciple of Prabhupada. So he brought it to Prabhupada. They said, this is not bhava. Prabhupada said, no, this is preliminary stage of bhava. Yes, they are explaining. Otherwise, why they are dancing and chanting for 2-3 hours? They have obviously some feeling for Krishna. Try to recognize this. And Prabhupada, I love that because Prabhupada wants us to recognize every little things happening in our life. Otherwise, what is the use of discussion? So many books written and discussed, so that we are assuring ourselves that we are progressing. These are the symptoms. Now we don't claim, I don't claim I have a bhava, but some bhava abhas, some bhava abhas. There's a 4 stages that is also explained, and hopefully you can read it little more. There's Rati Abhas, there's a Sattik Abhas, Pratipa, Nishatta. Kamsa was trembling when he was carrying his sister Vasudev. He was emotional. He said, I will drive you to your house. Wow, king became Sudra. No, king did not become Sudra out of affection for his sister. But is it Bhava? No, it is not Bhava. It is Pratibha. He is a hard-hearted person. Even though he had a feeling, an ecstasy, looks like. But when the aerial boys came in the sky, that, hey, you fool Kamsa, the 8th child of this sister will kill you. What happened to his Bhava? He threw away the rein, he grabbed Devaki's hair and pulled out the sword. This has nothing to do with Bhava. Even though he felt emotional, ecstasy before for Devaki, you may say, no, that's why there's a 4 stages: Rati Abhas, Sattik Abhas, Pratipa, and Nishatta. Nishatta means they are simply by force, theoretical display. Sometimes, like Prabhupada said, he was acting as Advaita Acharya in the play, in his childhood life. And at one point, Prabhupada was really felt so absorbed as a Advaita Acharya role that he was shocked that audience no sound. Then he looked at very close. Oh, some of them are crying. Prabhupada said that was very good. That's why Prabhupada support. In ISKCON early days, he said there should be more theater and drama because people remember drama theater more than they hear. They hear Bhagavatam class is over, they forget. But if they saw some scenery, somebody played, drama or something, they remember it. They can carry it. So Prabhupada promoted that. So these are called different stages. Rati Abhas is not fake, it's real. Devotees are feeling in ISKCON. Many, millions, thousands of devotees. They feel, but they're not permanent. So they have to cultivate more. They have to cultivate. We have to be aware of it. Rupa Goswami Pad gives this. Sattik Abhas caused by soft-hearted emotional disposition. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave a class how Sita Devi was kidnapped by Ravana. That was not a good act. And in that class, there was a Muslim guy. He had even shocking tears. Now you can deny that this is fake. No, it is not fake. But it is not bhava, it is abhas. At least he had a feeling for the Lord. He heard about some Hindu god or Gauriya god, whatever, Ram. And Ram was crying, asking the bushes, trees, deers, have you seen Sita? Have you seen Sita? And he's going completely plastic. He was tasting it. That is genuine. Ramchandra, separation feeling, his body transformation, that was real bhava, sattik bhava. But then Muslim guy who heard that lecture, he felt also shedding tears. Even though he has nothing to do with who Ram and Sita is, but he felt so sad that Ram is crying for his wife who was kidnapped by a devil. or evil person. And Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur noticed that. He said, this is good. He will become devotee because he has some feeling for the Lord. That's why Lord. Everybody understanding my point? Lord Ram was experiencing his pure Sattvik Bhava. The Muslim guy was experiencing Abhas. Abhas means like a semblance. It's not permanent, but he has to adapt it. Then he will get it. Then there is a Pratipa. Pratipa means like a hard-hearted person, like Kongsa. He also felt like he was emotional for Devaki on the wedding day, taking Vasudeva and Devaki to their house. But how do you know it is Pratipa? A real boy said, hey, foolish Kongsa, a child will kill you. What happened is feeling. The person he was feeling, he wants to kill her. Of course, Vasudev Maharaj changed that. So these are called Pratipa. And Nishatta means that when you force, like Arjuna was forcing to pay obeisances everywhere, everywhere. Is that clear, everybody? Maybe it's too much technical, but be aware of it. That's all. Because this will happen in your life, in your own experience. You be aware of it. That's all. But as far Sitapati Prabhu's presentation was excellent. Very nice. Very nice. I really appreciate Prabhu. You came forward and gave a synopsis.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. I saw some hands, but they took down the hand. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't scare you. Mother Sujata Devi, you had a question to Sitapati Prabhu. Was it?
No, Prabhuji. It was very clear, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Any question to Sitapati Prabhu? Yes, Mother.
I thought this difference between Anubhava and this thing was that that is, one is consciously doing it, the other one is involuntary. I mean, it just comes out.
Yes, yes. Can you be practical, Mother? I do that too. And that is Anubhava. It's not maybe not pure stage. Like when the kirtan goes so nicely, you feel like to raise hand and dance. Who is telling you? Nobody is telling you. You feel automatically you want to dance. These are not automatically happening, but you are consciously want to express it. And that is Anubhava. That is perfect. This is happening in our life. Okay, good. Thank you for understanding that point. Prahladananda Prabhu, we love your chanting. You have to mute it. Okay, any other question anyone else has? Anyone else? Otherwise, oh my God, I went over 3 hours. Krishna, I didn't even realize. Sorry. 10:30, 11:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. 3.5 hours. Krishna. Thank you. If there is no more question, thank you, Sitapati Prabhu. Thank you, Mother Sujata, Mother Sri Upanishad for presenting wonderful presentation. And looking forward to see you all tomorrow with the new assignment. Patitaran Prabhu is midnight in his country. He probably fell asleep. But we are looking forward to see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki